So to start our next session would be on rural innovation. I would like to call upon Mr. Mukesh Malhotra as the chairperson for this session. He is the founder and trustee of the Pune International Center and is chairman of the Malhotra Wickfield Foundation. He is also a chief functionary of the Indo-Swiss Center of Excellence Pune. We welcome you, sir. I now invite all our innovators in rural innovation category on the stage. So this session would be, there would be around 6 innovators who will be presenting their product and ideas. The innovators will get 7 minutes to present, and there will be a reminder given to you for the last 1 minute. And after all the presentations are done, there will be 15 minutes for the jury for Q&A. And now I invite sir to take the session over.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think after that lovely meal, we are all probably not in the best mood to be listening to long talks, so I'll keep myself very, very short. During the earlier session today, all of us heard some very nice words: innovation, jugaad, junoon, josh, purpose, perseverance, passion. And I think these adjectives apply to all our 6 competitors here who have shown innovation, jugaad, junoon, and josh, and both purpose, perseverance, and passion. Our current session is on rural innovation, and as we all know, India lives in its villages. That is where the real bottom of the pyramid that we keep talking about, most of it lies in our villages, in the rural areas. Unfortunately, the rural population or the rural sector as such doesn't get the attention that it deserves. Most of our innovations, solutions, and efforts to improve the ease of living, as my friend Pradeep just said, instead of ease of business, it's ease of living, is focused more on the urban sector than on the rural sector. So we owe a special sense of gratitude to these gentlemen and ladies, who have, taken up making innovations for the rural sector. And anything that benefits the rural sector actually benefits the maximum proportion of our population. A lot of jugaad, and by jugaad I mean improvisation to solve problems with available resources which are usually low cost. A lot of that begins in our villages, because that is where they have very few resources, access to very little, modern technology and things like that. And so they kind of put together whatever they have and try to make things work. But formalizing this innovation in the manner that these gentlemen and ladies have done is so important and is absolutely essential, I think, because then only these innovations can be scaled up. If I make some innovation in my little back house and don't do anything about it, and it's not done with the idea of making it available to a lot of people, it doesn't get scaled up. And if it doesn't get scaled up, it doesn't go to the rural communities all over the nation and perhaps all over the world. So improving the quality of life of the rural population also has another side benefit. We keep talking about migration of people from villages to towns and putting that big load on our urban infrastructure, and of course diminishing their quality of life. So if we were to create innovations for rural areas and create a better ease of life for them, that would also relieve that pressure, and in fact would probably help and create a reverse migration back to the rural areas, which would really make our country much more prosperous than what it is today. Today's finalists, as I went through the list, are mainly from 5 out of 6 are from the healthcare sector. They have all chosen to put in their efforts in improving the healthcare of our rural population. And I think that's a very critical area, because given the lack of medical adequate number of medical practitioners and proper medical resources in our far-flung rural villages, I think the kind of work that these ladies and gentlemen have done, in terms of telemedicine and bringing in technology into the use of for improving the healthcare of our rural people, I think that's extremely important. And I mean, unless a nation is healthy, it can't really have growth and it can't really prosper. So thank you very much, all of you, for your efforts in this field. And I'm sure we are all looking forward to hearing what you gentlemen have done and how you propose to make make the health of our rural population better and better. Of course, there's one lady who's also taken into account the, how do I say, replacing the bull with an electric bull. And I think that's also a beautiful innovation because, again, improving productivity in agriculture is probably one of our biggest challenges. And, probably the only way that India can probably feed the world and itself. We just hit 8 billion people a few days ago, or was it just yesterday? I don't know. And we're heading to the 10 billion mark. So, it's very important. We can't increase the amount of land that we have. The only way we can feed all these people is to increase the productivity of the land that we have. And that is why innovations like hers can, really bring about that particular revolution, the second green revolution that we need in order to, I think something that not many of us know is that India is the first, second, or third largest producer of almost every agricultural commodity. But what we also don't know is that our productivity is about 1/2 of the average productivity around the world. We are not 1/2 of the maximum, we are 1/2 of the average. So you can imagine how much we have, what a lot of gap there is to get even to the average. And if we can do that, we can double our food production and be able to feed that many more people. And of course, one of the other big things that we were just discussing 2 minutes back is the amount of food, grain, food, vegetables and fruit that is wasted, which is as high as 40 to 50% of the actual grown production. So any efforts made to improve and reduce that wastage also go towards improving our productivity. So that's just some food for thought, and I mean the double pun over there. And I now leave it to the our very young and dynamic innovators to tell us what they have done. Thank you.
So I think let's do it this way. Let's start with Mrs. Sonali Iljali of Krishi Gati, who has the electric bull, and then we'll have all the 5 healthcare people thereafter. Sonali, the field is yours. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity. So, I'm representing Krishi Gati here. At Krishi Gati, we are providing value-added product, solution and services for our marginal farmers. For that, we have developed an electric bale or electric multi-purpose vehicle. We call it as an electric bale or agri-EV for overseas market for modern and precision farming. What is the problem? During lockdown, when we went to our hometown, we observed that intercultivation of food grain crop is carried out by conventional method like as a draught animal or labor only. And there is an uncertainty of monsoon so that farmers is unable to keep a draught animal pair for the complete year. So right now farmers are facing the problem of on-time availability of labor manpower and jugaad from morning. This is very famous familiar word for us. So farmers have so many jugaads, but they don't have a sustainable solution for that. And sometimes they have a solution, but for a particular solution they have to use the different vehicles. We have some tractor and power tillers, but they have the limitations because we can't take them into the farm as the cropland distance between 9 inch to 11 inch, so that there may be chances of damage of the crops. So, as I said already earlier, we have started our journey in lockdown. We have started with the scrap engine, and it is firstly it is petrol diesel based. Then after discussing with lots of farmers, almost 100 plus farmers we have discussed, and we have come up with this solution. You are seeing here. And after coming back to Pune, we got an opportunity to associate with COE Motion, where we got guidance from IV Rao, then Ashok Chandak sir, and they have given a challenge to convert this machine into the electric vehicle. So we have developed this vehicle, and within a 13 months we got a patent granted. Then this machine can perform the operation of sowing, weeding, earthing up, and spraying operation. In the video, you can see the vehicle is running. This operation is particular earthing up operation, which is carried out only by the drought animal, and right now, due to the unavailability of drought animal, this is missing out, and this will helpful in October mainly, because this valley created helps us to drain the water and the land. For the upcoming features, we are also working with the crop protection, crop monitoring, soil health prediction, then drone technology and autonomous intelligent vehicle. Unique value proposition with this solution, with this innovation is it has a highest ground clearance. With this machine, a farmer can reduce his operational cost by 20 to 70%. It is a multi-purpose, multi-utility and one-stop sustainable solution. It will contribute in SDG 2, that means doubling the income and productivity of farmers. SDG 13 through climate resilience agriculture mechanization and also women empowerment, because अगर आदमी घर का आदमी MIDC वगैरह इधर उधर जाता है काम के लिए, तो जो वुमन रहती है घर की, तो उसके ऊपर बर्डन बढ़ जाता है, उसको एल्डरली पीपल होते हैं, बच्चे होते हैं, ये सब के साथ में ये भी देखना पड़ता है, तो इट विल हेल्प देम. This machine will be helpful for marginal farmers, middle income group farmers and large land holding farmers. 125 million hectare farm is producing food grain crop in India right now, and we have so much requirement up to 2030. We have to reach up to 355 million tons, and for meeting this requirement, we want some mechanization in agriculture. Here is relative development of mechanization. There is very much scope for the mechanization. This is at a glance view at Krishi Gati. We have one patent granted, then other views. We have set up a dedicated assembly plant at Alandi. This is our go-to-market strategy. We are working with farmers, FPO, FPCs, then dealer, distributor, and various governments also, and we want to work with the United Nations also. We have requirement from Rajasthan government, then Goa, Maharashtra government also shown interest in our vehicle. It is an axle-less vehicle. Then intercultivation of food grain is possible with this machine. Automatic depth adjustment, then spraying operation is there. There is 0-ton mechanization, which is the first in agriculture. Then cruise mode. These are our team members. I am myself taking care of operations and human resource. Our co-founder, Mr. Tukaram, he is an expert in design and development. He has 10 plus years of experience. Then Neil Mani, who is taking care of research and development. Then Sachin Bondwe, manufacturing expert. Tushar More, he is taking care of assembly. These are our strategic mentors. Under their mentorship, our journey started. Here at Krishi Gati, at this stage, we are seeking an investment of 5 CR. मराठीमध्ये म्हणतात की एकमेका सहाय्य करू अवघे धरू स्वपंत. So not only money is helping us, but we are also looking for the help from NGOs, then CSR, corporate societies, government officials and all others. These are some media coverage of Krishi Gati. Each and every corner of India is demanding this vehicle. And we are very fortunate that we got an opportunity to interact with our visionary Prime Minister in last month itself. So this is all about Krishi Gati. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonali. Sir, if I may request you to for some comments, and then.
That's very good. And I'm told that the price of this machine is about 2.5 or 3 lakhs, in that range. And I'm sure that that would be very, very affordable. And this is especially good for small farmers. You see, today, the average farm size in most of our states has come down to between 1.5 to 2 acres. And their large-scale mechanization doesn't work. So this kind of innovation for small-scale mechanization, which is also gives higher productivity and performs more than one function because it does spraying at the same time along with the other 3 functions that it carries out. I think it's very, very commendable, and I wish them all success. Can we now?
Sir, before we move on to the next, we would like you to present our token of love to Sonali.
So let's start. Pragmatech Healthcare, Mr. Anirban Palit. Yeah, please. You know, you're the only second person I've met with the surname Palit.
Okay.
The other one is in Switzerland.
Okay. Right. Ilaben was a 45-year-old mother of 2 who lost her life to cervical cancer last year. There are more than 67,000 such Ilabens who are losing their life to cervical cancer each year in India. There are more than 1 lakh cases that are detected every year, and India finds itself among the countries with highest cervical cancer fatalities. But when we look at a country like America, cervical cancer doesn't even figure among the top 10 women cancers in that country. In fact, less than 3,000 women are actually losing their life to cervical cancer in that country. This stark contrast is due to the lack of periodic screening, also known as PAP, and especially because cervical cancer is that kind of cancer which has an extended pre-cancerous stage wherein it can be detected anywhere between 5 to 10 years and the lady can be treated easily. Due to this fact, WHO has actually called for elimination of cervical cancer by the year 2030, for which it says 70% of an eligible population of a country should be screened for cervical cancer. But unfortunately, in India, we stand at a dismal percentage at 1%. This is not because we have lack of infrastructure. In fact, the same tests that are available currently in the US or in any other developed country are available in India. So why this situation? So this reason has been researched upon a lot in the last decade, and there have been several publications which have actually pointed out why the situation is such. The first one is an uncomfortable sampling procedure, which healthy women are not happy to undergo. It's distressing. It includes a pelvic examination. The second one is anxiety that rises out of detecting positive, and which means coming back for repeat treatments or diagnosis again. And the third one is the lack of infrastructure and lack of skilled manpower to conduct mass screening camps at a scale. So as you can see, these problems are native to a country like India and LMI population. Hence, there are not many diagnostic global companies who are actually focusing on this problem. This is where we come in. Our mission at Pragmatech is to democratize cervical cancer screening in India and then moving on to LMIs. My name is Anirban. I am representing Pragmatech as the MD and the co-founder. Our innovation is a point-of-care detection kit that detects precancerous lesions of cervical cancer using a self-sampling kit and using cervical scrapes, which means that our innovation has 2 parts. The first one is self-sampling, using which a lady can either sample herself at the privacy of her home, or in a rural setup, she can easily walk into a screening camp, maybe in a van, go behind a curtain and sample herself. The second part of it is the diagnosis part, where the same sample can be then tested point of care, and it can be ascertained whether the lady has cervical lesions or not, and then she can be taken to the nearest resource for immediate treatment. Now, looking at the current options that are currently available in India, the first one is, of course, the HPV test that is considered to be the gold standard for primary screening, and it has been actually adopted in many developed countries. However, it is very important here to know that HPV only detects the presence of a virus, which indicates that the lady may develop cervical lesions or cervical cancer. So it definitely is a good technique, it's a sensitive technique, and also supports self-sampling, but it's not an entire solution at one go. Hence, to determine whether the lady can be treated or not, they have to then be triaged, or additional tests have to be done, such as the liquid-based cytology, which is visualizing the cells under the microscope, and VIA, which is visual inspection using acetic acid. Now, these 2 techniques are extremely user variable. It requires a lot of infrastructure, and VIA especially requires a highly skilled manpower. Now, To take you through the workflow of what we are doing, first the lady will of course self-sample herself using the self-sampling device. Now this device has been patented by us, both utility and design, and it has been especially proven that it collects cells from the right places, that is the surface of the cervix. Hence, when compared to globally available such self-sampling kits, it's more accurate and more robust. Then the sample is then collected, tested at a point of care location, and if the lady is tested positive, she can be immediately taken to the nearest resource to give out affordable treatments such as LEAP and cryo. And this is not cancer treatment, it is just excision of the lesions from the cervix. And hence we are actually detecting a lady at a treatable point directly. Hence, coming back to the slide of the competition, what we are doing is not just providing self-sampling like HPV, but we are actually providing a holistic solution that is actually replacing all the three techniques in the market. Now, coming on to the value proposition, again, the three problems that I highlighted initially at the start of my presentation, it is increasing adoption through self-sampling. It is reducing dropouts by providing a point of care answer so that no anxiety remains. And the third one is it's low cost and it requires no highly skilled manpower to be adopted at a scale. Talking about the market, one may think that it probably would require a huge behavioral shift to actually adopt this in the market. But here's the interesting part. Out of the 20 crore women who are currently eligible in India to actually undergo cervical screening, 22% of those 20 crore are actually going to health camps and gynac centers out of other problems, but are not screened for cervical cancer because we don't have such a solution in place. Because self-sampling and point-of-care testing is now available through our innovation, this 22% can be tapped. Now, this follows, of course, to the go-to-market strategy where we'll be, of course, associating with a chain lab. And hence, this can be offered at a gynac clinic when a lady is actually visiting her in a routine visit, or in health camps while we are associating with NGOs for large-scale campaigns. We are planning to place this pricing at around 450 rupees. That is much lesser than the currently available techniques. As far as the roadmap is concerned, we are the first self-sampling kit in India to actually get a pivotal clinical study approval from CDSCO. We are almost completed with the trial. The results look fantastic. We have got some excellent partners from Pune who are actually helping us with this study. As far as the point of care detection is concerned, we have been funded by BIRAC Big for this, and we are in the final stages of the commercial development. As far as the funding is concerned, initially we bootstrapped 15 lakhs. After that, we got invested from Venture Center through the BIRAC seed grant. And later on, all the funding has come from grants and awards, the latest one being the Pfizer Innovation Grant. Talking about the team, I have more than 10 years of experience working in the IVD domain, mainly associated with Roche Diagnostics. Dr. Shantini is a scientist who has been associated with various biopharmas like Biocon and Lupin. Sorry about that. Dr. Bhagirath Modi is a veteran gynecologist who's been working in this sector for the last 40 years. And Palna is a lawyer at the Gujarat High Court who has close connections with the NGOs. And yeah, so last slide. Finally, the agenda or the impact that we are chasing is the increase in the number of women who are actually being treated through LEAP and cryo, such as affordable therapies, and are not treated for cancer. And of course, this follows as to the year-on-year decrease of cervical cancer fatalities. And finally, through NCSI, I'm really glad and really grateful for this platform. I'd love to connect with like-minded people who can support us for this journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anirban. I think given the fact that this big C is such a ferocious and frightening kind of disease, anything that can be done to reduce that is something very, very commendable. And the fact that this is being done in a manner which is very, very user-friendly, both in terms of utility and in terms of cost, I think that goes a long way. Thank you very much. I wish you all success. May I have the... May I call upon DK Health Access, Mr. Dayanand Patil, please, to give his...
Thank you for the opportunity. Next slide. No? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Danan. I'm working at DK Health Access Foundation as a founder and CEO. At DK Health Access, we are trying to improve access to affordable and quality healthcare services by leveraging technology and public healthcare funds in India. ये जो पिक्चर में लोग दिख रहे हैं, they are struggling to get access to healthcare services basically, and we help with our innovation to get them access to healthcare services by leveraging technology and government funds. प्रॉब्लम जो है विच वी आर ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व इज आज लगभग 68% जो है जो आउट ऑफ पॉकेट पे करना पड़ रहा है, जो है हेल्थ केयर एक्सपेंडिचर है वो हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज पे, एंड लगभग 122 पीपल आउट ऑफ 1 लाख दे आर डाइंग ड्यू टू द पुअर एक्सेस टू हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज. और इसके कारण क्या हो रहा है कि पीपल आर पुशिंग इन टू द पॉवर्टी ड्यू टू द कॉस्ट ऑफ हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज एंड ऑल. दे नीड टू कट जो इसेंशियल खर्चा है, वो इसेंशियल खर्चा कट करना पड़ रहा है ड्यू टू द हाई आउट ऑफ पॉकेट एक्सपेंस एंड ऑल. ये खर्चा बचाने के लिए देर आर लगभग इंडिया में आज 70% लोग जो इंश्योर्ड है, अलग अलग गवर्नमेंट जो स्कीम्स है, लाइक फेमस स्कीम्स लाइक आयुष्मान भारत एंड ऑल, एंड स्टेट लेवल अलग अलग गवर्नमेंट इंश्योरेंस स्कीम्स. बट फिर भी स्टिल पीपल नीड टू पे हाई आउट ऑफ पॉकेट एक्सपेंस. ये क्यों हो रहा है? तो हमने हमारे जर्नी में बहुत बार मतलब अलग अलग स्टडी किया, जाना जड़ में जाके कि व्हाट आर द रूट कॉजेस, क्यों ऐसे हो रहा है सब कुछ होने के बावजूद भी. तो हमें 2 रूट कॉजेस मिले. एक रूट कॉज है कि जो ये हेल्थ केयर स्कीम्स है या जो इंश्योरेंस स्कीम्स है, दे आर डायनामिक यानी जो कवरेज है उसका कवरेज कभी, जैसे कि ऑप्थेल्मोलॉजी में कभी ग्लूकोमा है तो कभी कैटरेक्ट नहीं है, कभी कैटरेक्ट है तो ये नहीं है, कवरेज चेंज होता रहता है. एक तो डायनामिक है, एक तो लोगों को पता नहीं होता है कि किस हॉस्पिटल में दिस स्कीम्स आर एम्पेलेंट. पता भी है तो जब वो जाता है तब स्कीम चेंज हुई होती है जो कवरेज है, तो वो धक्के खा के वापस आ जाता है, उसको सर्विस नहीं मिलता है, तो बाद में वो जाता ही नहीं है, जो बिलीफ या कॉन्फिडेंस है वो छूट जाता है. एक तो डायनामिक इन्फॉर्मेशन या ये कॉन्स्टेंटली चेंज होता रहता है. सेकेंड रूट कॉज है हेल्थ केयर अगेन कॉम्प्लेक्स है बहुत, मतलब एक्सेस टू डॉक्टर मिला तो नहीं चलेगा, खाली एक्सेस टू मेडिसिन मिला तो भी नहीं चलेगा, एक्सेस टू डायग्नोसिस मिला तो भी नहीं चलेगा, एक्सेस टू ट्रीटमेंट नहीं, एक्सेस टू पोस्ट ट्रीटमेंट फॉलोअप तो भी नहीं. तो ये तभी कंप्लीट होगा जब ये पूरा एंड टू एंड साइकिल एक बंदे को मिलेगा, राइट फ्रॉम द अवेयरनेस, डॉक्टर, मेडिसिन, डायग्नोस्टिक, ट्रीटमेंट एंड पोस्ट ट्रीटमेंट फॉलोअप, तब जाके ये सिस्टम या बंदे को सही में बोल सकते हो कि एक्सेस टू हेल्थ केयर मिला. तो प्रॉब्लम दूसरा रूट कॉज वही है, कभी कभार कैंप से पता चला कि यार इस हॉस्पिटल में स्क्रीनिंग हो सकता है, डायग्नोसिस हो सकती है, एक स्टेज हो सकता है, बट ऐसा सिस्टम है ही नहीं कि जो एंड टू एंड उसको कोई देख रहा है बंदा. गवर्नमेंट के पास प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि एक तो मैन पावर का प्रॉब्लम है, समझो मैन पावर है भी, लाइक आशा वर्कर एंड ऑल, उनके पास कैपेसिटी, ऐसा कोई प्लेटफॉर्म है, ऐसा सोल्यूशन है नहीं कि उसको बता दे कि भाई पेशेंट अभी कहाँ है, मतलब कहाँ खड़ा है, डायग्नोसिस हुआ है क्या, आगे गया है क्या, आगे नहीं गया था, आगे क्यों नहीं गया है. देयर इज नो सच एज मतलब प्लेटफॉर्म जो इजीली सब कुछ करे. तो देयर आर 2 रूट कॉज विच वी हैव फाउंड. वन इज द डायनामिक कॉन्स्टेंटली चेंज होता रहता है, दूसरा एंड टू एंड ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम नहीं है जो यूज कर सके. सॉरी, ये कौन लोग हैं जो स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं? बेसिकली दिस पीपल आर जो बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन है, दे लिव इन द अर्बन स्लम्स, रूरल, ट्राइबल, हर जगह पे रहते हैं. पहला उनका यही है, दे आर लुकिंग फॉर एक्सेस टू अफोर्डेबल एंड क्वालिटी हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज. उनका वो पेन है और वो पेन सॉल्व करने की हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं. Solution क्या है? Our solution is a सुलभ इलाज. सुलभ इलाज is a web application which helps to access to affordable and quality healthcare services by leveraging technology and public healthcare funds. वहाँ पे लगभग डॉक्टर कंसल्टेशन मिल जाता है, मेडिसिन मिल जाती है, डायग्नोस्टिक मिल जाता है, एंड सर्जिकल प्रोसीजर मिल जाता है, एंड द पोस्ट ट्रीटमेंट फॉलोअप भी मिल जाता है. तो ये कैसे काम कैसे करता है? फर्स्ट हमने इसको पेशेंट्स का लीड या पेशेंट के पास हम कैसे पहुँचते हैं, हमने ये दिया है कम्युनिटी हेल्थ वर्कर को. एक सिंपल सा उसका ऐप का यूजर आईडी दे देते हैं, समझो आशा वर्कर है. आशा वर्कर घर घर जब जाती है तब देखते हैं कि नॉट मेडिकली, जस्ट जनरली क्लिनिकली कि किसका सर दुख रहा है क्या, हाथ दुख रहा है क्या, छाती में कुछ दर्द है क्या, पीठ में कुछ दर्द है क्या, जस्ट सी रिकॉर्ड द दर्द, पेन, कहाँ पे क्या प्रॉब्लम है. हेल्थ इंक्वायरी आ जाती है. वो हेल्थ इंक्वायरी क्या आ जाती है सेकंड नंबर के पास, जो पेशेंट ट्रीटमेंट जर्नी कोऑर्डिनेटर है, वो डीके का है, वो गेम चेंजर है. उसके हाथ में जो एपीआई है, उसका जो ऐप का एपीआई है, उसके एपीआई में बैकएंड में हमने पूरा रिसर्च करके डेटाबेस डाला हुआ है जो रियल टाइम है. गवर्नमेंट की कौन सी स्कीम है, कौन सी चीज़ के लिए है, कौन सा हेल्थ केयर सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है, और अभी का डेटाबेस क्या है उसका. उसके हाथ में वो पावर है. वो जो उसके पास इंक्वायरी आती है उस इंक्वायरी को मैच करता है. डायग्नोसिस चाहिए तो डायग्नोसिस कहाँ पे मिलेगा, रियल टाइम कहाँ पे मिलेगा, पास में कहाँ पे है, ये सब कुछ देखता है. ही डायरेक्टली कॉल टू द पेशेंट्स, जो उसके पास डेटाबेस है, एंड वो लाइनअप करता है वो सर्विस प्रोवाइडर के सेंटर पे. तो जब वो सर्विस प्रोवाइडर के सेंटर पे जाता है तभी भी खाली भेज के नहीं चलेगा, फेल गए हम शुरुआत में, क्योंकि वो जाते नहीं है लोग, जाने के बाद वहाँ पे मिलेगा का वो भी गारंटी नहीं है। तो वहाँ पे देयर इज ऑफलाइन असिस्टेंस फ्रॉम आवर एंड। हर मतलब एक बंदे को ऑफलाइन असिस्टेंट के लिए 500, 1000, 2000, लगभग 2000 पेशेंट के बिहाइंड एक ऑफलाइन हमने कोऑर्डिनेटर रखा है। जब वो सेंटर पे जाता है तो ही यूज टू टेक एडमिशन, लिटरली फ्रॉम द एडमिशन, सर्जरी हो, ये हो, सब कुछ वो ले लेता है। वो होने के बाद फिर से बंदा वो फील्ड में जाता है, फील्ड में जाने के बाद अगेन वो आशा वर्कर वगैरह जो रहती है। तो इट्स प्रोवाइड एंड टू एंड healthcare services through the government schemes या बाकी public health schemes and utilizing the public infrastructure like hospitals and all. तो प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विसेज क्या है, लाइक इट्स अ वेब ऐप। जैसे मैंने बोला, ये वेब एक डैशबोर्ड आता है, जैसे कि इसमें दिख रहा है कि पेशेंट लीड कितने आई, जैसे आशा वर्कर वगैरह उसने भरा है। सेकेंड कॉलम इज द एग्जैक्ट क्या चल रहा है उस पेशेंट की लाइफ में, ओपीडी पे है, आईपीडी पे है, उसका ट्रीटमेंट हुआ है, पोस्ट ट्रीटमेंट हुआ है, ट्रैक कर सकते हैं। लास्ट में कितने पेशेंट का क्लोज हुआ है एंड कितने पैसे उसके बचे हैं, एंड टू एंड उसमें हो जाता है। एंड द अदर सर्विसेज 1, 2, 3, 4 लाइक डॉक्टर कंसल्टेशन, डायग्नोस्टिक, ट्रीटमेंट एंड पोस्ट ट्रीटमेंट फॉलो। यूनिक प्रोपोजिशन क्या है, देयर आर 4 यूनिक प्रोपोजिशन। इट इज इजीली एक्सेसिबल, दूसरा है इंस्टेंटली रियल टाइम हेल्थ केयर सर्विस एंड इजी टू मैनेज पेशेंट ट्रीटमेंट जर्नी, एंड फोर्थ सबसे क्या है, इट इज अ सस्टेनेबल, लाइक जो वी आर एनजीओ, सेक्शन 8 एनजीओ, एक बार फंड दिया तो बार बार फंड देना पड़ता है, बट फॉर अस वी यूज टू चार्ज पेशेंट 500 रुपीज सर्जरी के बाद। तो इनिशियल फंड के बाद हमें फंडिंग बाद में नहीं लगता है, वी यूज टू सस्टेन ऑन आवर ओन। तो लगभग आज तक हमने 25,000 लोगों को हेल्प किया है एक्सेस टू हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज में, 15,000 डॉक्टर कंसल्टेशन, 5,000 ट्रीटमेंट, एंड लगभग 8,000 आउट ऑफ पॉकेट पैसे हमने बचाए हैं एंड गवर्नमेंट के लीवरेज किए हैं, एंड इट्स बहुत स्पीडली है, आगे जा रहा है। ये टीम है, टीम में लगभग 3 टाइप के लोग हैं, एक टेक्नोलॉजी है, मेडिकल टीम है एंड सोशल वर्कर टीम है। फंडिंग का सोर्स बेसिकली शुरुआत में ब्रूस्ट्रैप एंड इनक्यूबेटर से पैसा हमें आया, लाइक वी आर इनक्यूबेटेड अनलिमिटेड, या थैंक यू।
Thank you, Dayanand. That's another, great innovation in terms of basically what it's addressing is the lack of information and the information mismatch, where many facilities exist, but most people don't know. And that hand-holding process that they've created, I think that is the main, backbone of that system. And I think it's very commendable. It definitely is good for the bottom of the pyramid to be able to access reasonably good health care at little or no cost. Thank you very much. Can we get... Next, I'll ask Mr. Kasliwal of Mediseva Technologies to please give his talk.
Hi, very good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Vishesh Kasliwal, founder and CEO of Mediseva Technologies Private Limited. So Mediseva is a health tech company working in the sector of rural telemedicine. So what we realized that the people in the rural part of the country do not have access to good quality doctors. The doctors present over there are either underqualified or non-qualified. And if they tend to travel to a city to get the treatment, they end up spending a lot of money in traveling, lodging, fooding, boarding, etc. So what solution we brought in? So we thought that we should start up with physical clinics across villages wherein the patient walks into the clinic and they get a consultation either from an MBBS doctor or a specialist doctor over a video call. So coming to the market size, so we all know that the Indian rural space is the biggest possible space in the country, which comprises of around 90 crore of the population. So we are targeting around 2 crore of the population and saying that these would be the people in the country who will be using telemedicine. Coming to the opportunity, so there are multiple government initiatives like National Health Mission, telemedicine guidelines have been issued by the Government of India, and eSanjeevani project which has come up. There is increased investment in the health tech sector, and in almost all health issues except emergencies can be tackled through telemedicine. So coming to my go-to-market strategy, so we are basically following the franchising model. So we are working through either channel partners or giving direct franchisees. So who are these channel partners? So these channel partners are basically people or the companies who are working in the rural segment in the form of banking correspondence, e-governance, or skill development centers. We are working directly with them since they are already present in the rural space to open new clinics or new Mediseva centers. So coming to the patient journey, a typical patient journey, what happens to a patient when it comes to the Mediseva Kendra? So when the patient walks into the Mediseva Kendra, there is a person whom we call as a Mediseva, the franchisee owner. He does the registration of the patient or the software which we have. The vital parameter monitoring is being done through a device wherein on touch of your finger, all your body vitals are recorded. So now the patient has two options, either to take a consultation from an MBBS doctor or a specialist doctor. In case of an MBBS doctor, we are following this Uber model, wherein all the MBBS doctor gets a push notification on their application, and whosoever is free will take up the patient. In case of a specialist doctor, there is a concept of an assistant doctor. So this assistant doctor could be a homeopathic, Ayurvedic, or a physiotherapist. Over a phone line, these doctors take the complete history of the patient, they analyze the situation of the patient, and accordingly they fix up an appointment with a specialist doctor. So this also happens through a Uber model. So now the consultation happens over a video line, the invoicing happens, and there is a concept of a post-consultation feedback, wherein on every third day, the patient gets a call from the Mediseva team to inquire whether the patient has taken medicine, does he having any kind of side effects, or does he require any other assistance from our team. So coming to the business metrics, so we have already opened around 55 Mediseva Kendras across the country. We project that by 22-23 March, we'll be present in 150 plus centers, and similarly by 24-25 in 6,500 centers. We have given consultation to 500 people, and we project to give consultation to 31 lakh people by 24-25. We are growing at an average of 30% month on month. Our sources of revenue are consultation, pathology service charge, radiology service charge, and hospitalization. Coming to the competitive advantage, so our team consists of doctors and engineers, so it is a good blend of technology and healthcare. We are following this Uber model, which I've already explained. There's a two-step process wherein there is a junior doctor and the final consultation happens. We have this device. We are working along with channel partners, and we provide a turnkey solution to all our patients. We are covering multiple United Nations SDGs like good health and well-being, gender equality, decent growth and economic growth, reduce inequalities, and climate action. So coming to the roadmap, so we have already conceptualized and validated our project. We have got a funding of 1.5 CR. The ongoing developments are enhancement in the IT infrastructures, implement of new channel partners. We are developing mobile application for our Medisevaks. Moving on by 23-24, we'll be tying up with more channel partners. We'll be tying up with NGOs and CSR funds. We'll be providing vending machines at the centers to provide the OTC drugs. So these are few awards and recognition which we have won. So this is the team. The team consists of myself. I'm Dr. Vishesh Kasliwal. I've done my MBBS and MBA in hospital administration. Then there's Ms. Rachita Kasliwal. She's the co-founder and she's handling the marketing team. Then there's Dr. Apur Dua. He's Chief Medical Officer and he's the orthopedic surgeon. Then there's Mehul Jain. He's handling the technology part. And there's Omanshi Agrawal. She's handling the finance in the company. So we are definitely here to raise funds, definitely. And we're looking for CSR support in form of center adoption, patient consultations, and to run pilot projects. So thank you. So these are some snaps of our software, how it looks like, our application which our doctors are using. So it's a draft prescription what we give to our patients. Some snaps of the centers, some health camps and awareness sessions which we do. These are the general pamphlets which we distribute for our marketing purpose, some social media content. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vishesh. Well, that's the first proper application of technology in medicine. And I don't think much more needs to be said. It is important, it is innovative, and it is something that will sort of help a lot of people who don't have the facilities normally of access to good quality medical consultation. Thank you. Dr. Pallavi Roy from Digi Swasthya Foundation.
Hi,
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope that the lunch didn't make you all sleepy, but I'll try to keep this as short as I can. Because first of all, I'd like to congratulate my fellow change makers. They are doing such a wonderful job, and I see a lot of scope of collaboration, especially in healthcare. Today, I'm bringing to you a story from the rural district of Sant Kabir Nagar in Uttar Pradesh. Thank you. This is the story of Ranjita Devi, a 35-year-old female who was diagnosed with breast cancer at a local hospital. She was referred to Diriswast through a fellow villager who had consulted with us before. This is when our team stepped in and scheduled a second opinion teleconsultation with Dr. Rakesh Mittal, who was at the time the deputy director at Homi Baba Cancer Hospital in Banaras. Dr. Rakesh advised her, and today, Ranjita Devi is leading a healthy life and even running a small business that supports her family in the village. If you ever have a conversation with her, you'd see how happy they are, the family and Ranjita Devi, to know that they received the right diagnosis at the right time. But things weren't always like this. In 2007, a 12-year-old Mr. Sandeep Kumar was also diagnosed with cancer in the same district. However, it took his family 6 months of running around to receive the right diagnosis. This is when he decided that he would make sure that nobody from his village faces the same challenges as he did. And he started Diriswast with a mission to provide accessible and affordable healthcare services for marginalized communities across India by leveraging technology. Today, Diriswast is an NGO which is registered as a Section 8 organization and is delivering quality healthcare services through teleconsultations, awareness camps, and referral pathways to the remotest parts of India. The scale of the problem has been defined very well by my fellow changemakers, but I'd like to emphasize on the lack of qualified doctors in these areas. The areas that we're serving, while they do have the infrastructure, there is absenteeism of doctors, especially the specialists. And because their villages want to prevent or avoid this inferior quality of care, they rush to hospitals in the nearest city, which incurs a huge economic burden that they have to bear. So far, in the past 2 years, through our 5 digital telemedicine centers, we have been able to serve more than 16,000 patients across India. This includes COVID consultations, cancer care consultations, and expert opinions. We've partnered with pharmacies and diagnostic labs, which provide a discount to our beneficiaries. And with the help of 130 plus healthcare professionals on our board, we have conducted over 500 plus awareness campaigns across villages of India. These are some images from door-to-door campaigns that our team members conduct, and here you can also see an online awareness session. On the top left corner, you'll see what a typical Diriswast telemedicine center looks like, where there is a TV screen, a laptop, a patient navigator guiding the patient. This patient navigator or Diriswast team member helps the patient and guides them throughout the process. From the moment they enter the center to once they leave and up till follow-up, the patient navigator stays in touch with our patients. We conduct a vital examination using digital devices wherein we measure their height, weight, blood pressure, glucose levels, oxygen saturation, and then these metrics are conveyed to the doctor sitting across the screen. Through the telemedicine software, all of this data is stored as an EMR, and the patient has access to this whenever they need it. We're present in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Maharashtra. This is where our digital centers are, but we also conduct camps across India in other states as well, such as Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Haryana. Through our digital approach, we aim to deliver quality healthcare teleconsultations, and we've made this a cost-light model, which is also scale-ready. This is how we've been able to establish 5 centers so far. With the help of our strong on-ground team, which is made up of the villagers, we work with the best team of doctors and with the partnerships to achieve the goals that we have. But we're not the only people who are working in this space. However, Diriswast's USP is that it's built by the villagers and for the villagers. We're trying to serve the communities where registered practitioners are absent, and we are connecting them to doctors whom they wouldn't even dream of having consultations with. These are doctors from renowned institutions and hospitals in Tier 1 cities, such as Tata, KEM, Hinduja, AIMS, Safdarjung, Medanta, etc. And we're doing this at subsidized fee or even free of charge for our patients who can't afford it. With the help of our core team and our esteemed panel of doctors, we have built a cumulative saving of 2.46 crore for 13,700 patients. We measure the difference in time and investment, financial investment, that the patient incurs if they travel to a local DigiSwasth telemedicine center versus if they have to go to the nearest hospital in the nearby city. But these numbers are not just numbers, these are real lives. And we have cases ranging from cancer to COVID, which have been treated successfully. With the help of our patients, we take the consent and record these stories so that we can share them with you. From supporting our advisory board members, our donors, and our partners. With their support, we have been able to achieve a few accolades, such as media coverage, and notable awards and achievements, of which one is that I'd like to mention. It is a 10,000 USD grant that we received from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, PIC, and EDPC. Our journey is just 2 years old, and currently we're in our 3rd year of operations, where we're planning to sustain before we scale to other geographies. But by year 5, we aim to set up 15 new DigiSwasth telemedicine centers. And this is where you come in. What this conference and this platform can support us with is fundraising, organization building, and technology. Like you heard my fellow changemakers say, that there is no digital health without technology. And we too are looking for a telemedicine platform which has the integration of IoT devices. We are looking for devices for virtual consultations, as well as financial support. You can support our patients by sponsoring their consultations or adopting a telemedicine center. You could also help us connect to institutions that provide grants or CSR funding. We're also seeking mentorship in terms of financial acumen and helping us streamline the processes that make us more scalable. I invite you to join us in our mission in bringing digital health to those who lack digital literacy. Thank you.
Very good, Pallavi. There's another example of technology for healthcare. And I'm glad that Pallavi spoke about, co-opetition and not just competition. That what she really meant was that there is a lot of space for, there's space for everybody and more in a country like ours with, as they say, 1.5 billion people. So there's scope for co-opetition where you can cooperate and compete at the same time. Thank you. Can I have the... All good things must come to an end. We have the last, but not the least, Anant Nevatia from the Rural Healthcare Foundation. No? Okay. Akash Singh from Urban Blue Technologies. My apologies. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a wonderful day. So I'm Akash, I'm co-founder at Urban Blue Technologies, and we are into wastewater management in general. We are developing a suite of softwares, microbial analysis tools for this wastewater treatment plants. So let me go through exactly what we are building and why we are building. So let us first go to the problem. So in general, wastewater treatment is still in industry 2.0. The processes that we use has been developed 50, 100 years back. The new technologies that are coming in, they are able to treat, but they are like medicines. You have good medicines, but you don't have good enough processes to analyze these treatment plants. They are complex processes. There are 40 to 50 different data points around the treatment plants. But in order to analyze them, it costs you around 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees per month for just a 100 KLD plant, and at most 5 to 15 days to basically understand everything. It's like going to a doctor and asking why am I sick, and they'll tell you after 15 days exactly what's the problem with you. So till that time, these microorganisms, because they grow very rapidly, they already screw up the plant. So we are trying to bridge that gap. Now what happens because of these things is 7 in 10 plant managers in India that we have talked to, they experience some sort of plant downtime. Because of this plant downtime, either they have to shut up the manufacturing or they just release this wastewater into rivers, local bodies, ponds, everything. So what we are building is a basically plant management suite where you can measure all the plant data in the live, real time. You can basically maintain everything. You can have maintenance forecast, you can have real-time detection. It's like we can predict up to 15 to 45 days in advance what are the problems that you're going to face in the plant, and this in time basically get you actionable insights, like whatever you want to do, like you have some certain problem, then what are the recommendations that are provided so you can solve everything. Like let's say if you have certain microbial species that is growing very rapidly, then how you can control that end to end, we guide with everything. All this is also helps you with the government compliances, because one platform acts as a single point of everything. You get the solution, you get the data that you can share with the government entities, you get the everything. Now, in terms of competitive advantage, we have traditional labs testing from last many years where you can send in the samples, you can get testing done, but they're time consuming. If you consider the modern age water tech startups, they all work with primary and tertiary treatment processes where it's basically physical or chemical processes, but nothing biological. Our moat is we specifically work with biological systems. We are able to identify any kind of microorganisms. The tools we are building, that instead of doing all the lab work, we can just take a picture from the microscope and we'll be able to identify what kind of microorganism it is, why it is, and what you can do to properly correct it. USP, if we consider absolute numbers, again, as I said, we can bring this traditionally 5 to 15 days to less than few minutes. All our solutions are retrofittable. You don't need any additional infrastructure, everything, and we can do biological analysis. All of this will help you completely eliminate downtime. In terms of impact, so if consider the industrial impact, the reduction of up to 75 tons of carbon dioxide per 100 KLD plant, you have cost savings of up to 15 lakhs in capex and up to 1 crore in opex over the lifetime for every individual plant. Now, there are certain indirect impacts where we also play. So initially, when we applied for this NCSI, we were thinking we are urban blue. So why rural category exactly? So we came to know, and we basically did a lot of research, and we understood that water management in general, even though industry pays for it, even though industry is the one who is doing everything, the impact is direct on rural population. If you consider, like if you exclude some of the coastal cities, even if you include them, doesn't make much difference. So most of the population, rural population is going to get affected. Like according to a World Bank report of 2012, India spends around $470 to $610 billion per year just on this health cost related to water pollution. At the same time, due to water pollution, you have a lot of algal blooms, you directly affect marginalized fishing community. In fact, while I was working in my previous organization, one of my colleagues was from a fishing community in the Mumbai region. There's a Taloja MIDC. So the problem was in the last 25 years, somewhere when they used to just take half an hour, 1 hour to just go maybe a kilometer down the line to fishing. Today, even after 8 hours of work, they are not getting enough fishing for overall their consumption or selling. So this directly impacts all the waterways that we live in. In terms of revenue model, we directly have B2B clients where we charge subscription charges. Our recent target market is high strength effluent producing industries, the lowest hanging fruit for us, with COD, BOD, nitrogen above the levels that are mentioned. In terms of traction, we have few letter of intents for pilot trials and a few are in the pipeline. In fact, just this week, we started to offer pilots with Sun Pharma from Punjab and Gujarat. The beauty is they were struggling with some problems for the last 2 months. We were able to identify the problem in less than 30 minutes and give them exact recommendation that what you need to follow in your plan to correct everything. In terms of market size about this, the wastewater market is 57,400 crores. If you consider revisedly, it is getting bigger. Serviceable optimal market in India, which we are targeting, is around 1,400 crores right now. Now, why now? Because wastewater, the industrial sustainability is focused right now. Every industry, every investor wants to get into sustainability race. Water-related costs are increasing. Like if your water is the main resource for your manufacturing plant, the water cost can go up to 240 rupees per 1,000 liters. That is very high right now. At the same time, if you can treat it properly, it will cost you less than 25 rupees per 1,000 liters. So effectively, recycling is much more economical to industries than just buying new water. In terms of core team, me, Karan and Priyanka, we all three are biotech engineers. Combined, we have 12 plus years of experience in the industry. We have dealt with 500 plus plants in the last 5 years. We have worked with a lot of treatment plants, provide them microbiological solutions to them. We also have a lot of sales experience, business development and technology experience combined. In terms of advisory and mentor board, we have industry veterans with 25, 30 years of experience in both business development, technical, and they are helping us actively with industrial collects.
We are also supported by BIRAC, Niti Prayas, and MITI grants, and we were incubated at Venture Center. As of now, we are incubated at both SIGN and SPTBI for 2 separate funds. So right now, we are looking to raise some 90 lakhs for next 18 months. In couple of months, once we have some pilot results. At the same time, we're also looking for industry connects to get more pilot trials, and of course, CSR initiatives are definitely something helpful. So that will be it from my side. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Akash. As they said, the next wars will most probably be on water. And as such, and especially in a water scarce country like ours, saving and recycling water is probably one of the biggest resources that we need. And he was absolutely correct when he said that while the pollution is created in cities through industry, all that goes into the rivers, which go downstream and then affect the entire rural population downstream ahead, and except, as he said, in the coastal cities. So I think what they're doing is very commendable. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
We would now start with the Q&A, which will be for 15 minutes. It's open to the jury. Thank you.
So my question is to Mediseva, Dr. Kasliwal.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're talking about telemedicine and putting up centers in rural areas for medical healthcare and doctor OPD. My question is, in rural areas, any rural region, if you see, the patients over there, would really, I'm sure you've observed this,
Yep.
patients would really like to visit physically, the doctors and get the advice or consultation physically. Unless they see a doctor in a physical form and talk to him, they will not get that solace.
Yep.
So then how do you plan, what is it, how is it that you've, dealt with this? Because it's a very big challenge, Even I think the same can go to DG Swasthya. It's a very, very huge challenge in the rural areas.
Ma'am, I totally understand what you meant. So, one, COVID has actually helped us a lot. Why? Because pre-COVID times, obviously this was the situation. During the time of COVID, every household was taking a consultation from a doctor over a video call. That was a situation across the country. Two, in each and every household or the nearby places wherever they live, there was a student who was taking classes over a video line. So now they have the concept that, okay, the people in the rural, the consultation or the doctor can also see the patient over the video line. So few things also helped. One is the e-Sanjeevani project, which is started by Government of India. So e-Sanjeevani is again a telemedicine platform which government has started. So they are promoting telemedicine and telemedicine centers across the country through PHC, CHC centers. There were no guidelines before. Now people also understand, okay, there is something which happens, and so every day I'm getting a footfall. I cannot say that I'm getting a footfall of like 100 patients per day per center, but 5, 7 patients, 10 patients are actually coming, and it is according to word of mouth. So initially it was one patient who was coming to a center, so this one has now approaching 3 other. So every day this count is increasing, and this is helping us out. And there's another thing, ma'am. For 80% of the consultation, you actually do not require the physical approach or physical touch of the doctor. Obviously, it will take time for the patient to understand this, but this is the start, I believe. And this is the next thing, because we all know that the urban doctors are not going into the rural part of the country. So this is the only way we can bridge the gap between the urban doctor and the rural patients. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, ma'am. So I think I really resonate with what Dr. Vishesh just said, and awareness is going to take a lot of time, which is why in our DigiSwast model, we have people of the villages working for this cause. So that helps with rapport building, there is trust, and of course it can't happen overnight, and we've seen that it's taken 2 years for our first center to get the kind of footfall that it has now. Another factor that we try to put in, the factor of touch, it comes in when our team members interact with the patients and measure their vital signs. So at least in that stage, they feel like, okay, some diagnostic has been done, some tests have been conducted, and now we are going to talk to the doctor online. So that's how we try to make it digital, both physical as well as digital. Thank you.
My question would be to Mr. Dayanand Patil. Yeah. How do you assess the effectiveness of your overall services and what benefit the customer is deriving out of your services? And yours is DK Health Access, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Okay, I think.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Actually, ये जो mechanism है application में, app में, it's track the whole the journey of patient. जैसे कि patients को समझो, patients need a cataract surgery. कहाँ पे तो किसी health camps में diagnose हुआ होता है. It's a shocking. मतलब जनरली जो वॉकिंग करती है आशा वर्कर, उसको भी कैटरेक्ट पेशेंट मिल जाते हैं फील्ड में, क्योंकि बहुत सारे हेल्थ कैंप्स में पहले स्क्रीनिंग करके पेशेंट्स जैसे वहाँ पे आता है, रिकॉर्ड होता है अपने इफेक्टिवनेस जो बोला, तो उसके बाद उसका यूनिकनेस वही है, नीड टू ट्रैक एट ईच स्टेज जर्नी में. लाइक कैटरेक्ट हुआ है, कैटरेक्ट कौन से स्टेज पे है, मतलब कैटरेक्ट बोलते, कैटरेक्ट के भी अलग अलग स्टेजेस हैं सर्जरी करने के. कैटरेक्ट है कभी कभी, बट उसको बीपी है क्या, शुगर है क्या पेशेंट को. बहुत बार क्या होता है, बीपी शुगर कंट्रोल नहीं है, फिर भी समझो उस टाइम वो ऑब्जर्वेशन नहीं किया है, कम ज़्यादा है, 2-4 दिन पहले मेडिसिन खा के कंट्रोल में आया है, वो कम हुआ है, ऑपरेशन कर दिया है. देयर आर चांसेस. एक तो हिस्ट्री, पूरा हिस्ट्री लिया जाता है बिफोर सर्जरी के पहले, पूरा प्री सर्जरी एनालिसिस वगैरह. सेकेंड, जो सर्जरी हो रही है वो सर्जरी होती है मोस्ट ऑफ ये सब कुछ जो भी हॉस्पिटल है, दे ऑल आर द गवर्नमेंट इम्पेलेंट, दिस आर द NABL एंड ऑल, गवर्नमेंट का ऑडिट होके ही होता है, तो क्वालिटी वहाँ पे हो जाती है. बट उसके बाद जनरली पोस्ट फॉलोअप के लिए पेशेंट नहीं आते हैं, मेडिकेशन एडरेंस जिसे बोलते हैं. बट जो पोस्ट फॉलोअप है, हम इंश्योर करते हैं कि वो आ रहा है पोस्ट फॉलोअप के लिए. एंड ये सब भी प्रोसेस है, ऐप में जो API है उस पर ट्रैक होता है. उस पर सिंपल जैसे व्हाट्सअप मैसेज पे डाल देते कि आज पेशेंट आला, आज पेशेंट आ गया, ये पेशेंट का ये हुआ, वो पेशेंट का वो हुआ, तो वो ट्रैक हो जाता है डैशबोर्ड पे, पता चल जाता है कि पेशेंट का पूरा जर्नी कंप्लीट हुआ है. और हमने देखा है कि 99% केसेस में, 98 इट इज़ एग्जैक्ट नंबर, 98 पॉइंट समथिंग, अगर पेशेंट का जर्नी कंप्लीट हुआ है पूरा, तो देर इज़ अ वेरी लेस चांस टू लाइक अ पुअर एक्सेस टू हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज एंड ऑल. बट इसमें का एक भी गैप रहा फॉलोअप का भी, तो देर इज़ अ हाई चांसेस. तो एक तो इफेक्टिवनेस का एक ही है, टू कंप्लीट द होल जर्नी एंड टू एंड ऑन टाइम, and we track with the help of application and all. Yeah. Thank you.
To Dr. Kasliwal, I think yours is a telemedicine, right?
Yes, sir.
So how do you evaluate the services of the consultant? Because these are all, they are over different places, they are operating on a telephone basis and all that.
Yeah. So
and how do you evaluate them? Do you have any assessment? And how do you identify them? Or you just go through some process of calling for the names and then paneling them?
Sir, currently we are having around 350 doctors and we are catering around 23 specialities. So what happens, as I was mentioning about the Uber model, okay, so first if I talk about the screening process, so how to enroll the doctors on board. So I am a medical doctor, so how I started with my own connects. I started with the doctors whom I know, my juniors, my seniors, my colleagues, whatever. So I know that, okay, these are good doctors and these are capable doctors, so I brought them on board. And now I'm bringing the, building the chain through them. So this is how I'm ensuring that the quality of the doctor is good. So that was the most important factor. Now coming up, that how to give, which doctor to give. So there's this junior doctor concept is there. So these junior doctors talk to the patient first. They take the complete history on the phone line. They understand, okay, for example, if I'm a female patient, I'm having an abdominal pain, I could require a gynecologist or a surgeon or a gastroenterologist or a liver doctor. It could be anything. So, but these doctors understand the history, the symptoms of the patient, and they then fix up an appointment with the suitable doctor. Because in the urban scenario also, the patient doesn't understand which doctor does he or she requires the consultation from. So we are making this process easy through this concept.
And looking at the other side of it,
And so now we are recording, every call is being recorded. So it's on the video line. So our software is there, we are recording everything. And sir, another parameter is that when we talk to the patient, so if he is feeling comfortable about what has happened to him after 3 days, as I mentioned, we are talking to the patient. So this is also one parameter which we conclude that the consultation went well. And two, we are keeping a record on all the videos, whatever consultation happening. So on a weekly basis, all the videos are being seen through the panel, the in-house panel, and then we evaluate, okay, the consultation didn't went well or not. So that is the way we are doing it.
And all of you are handling with a lot of personal data, and that to a medical kind of a data and all that.
Yes.
So how do you protect that
So,
data?
sir,
Do you
current,
think any
so we are
legal
going for
liabilities
HIPAA
or
consent.
something?
So we are going for HIPAA compliance. So we are already in the process of doing that. It will take time, I understand. But currently everything is there on our servers, on our cloud servers. So it is being saved and to us only. So obviously that data, there is an option that it might leak, but we are trying to protect it as much as possible. Once we are done with the HIPAA compliance, we will be sure that, okay, everything is secured.
And one last question to Sonali. You said you are offering your services to marginal farmers.
Yes, sir.
Your equipments and all that. But whereas the cost was mentioned something like 2 to 3 lakhs. A marginal farmer, I don't think we can even afford 3,000 rupees in a whole year and all that. So are you thinking of some other alternative kind of services which could be offered to them?
Yeah. Actually, this vehicle or this machine cost 2,75,000, including all attachments. Right now, what are the solutions available in the market? They have providing one vehicle, and for each and every operation, we have to purchase different mechanization or implements, which cost around 20,000 इसका है, 30,000 उसका है, ऐसा करके. और 2,75,000 में उसका जो 1 साल का अगर हमने 2 क्रॉप साइकिल भी देख लिया, तो उसका 50% जो कॉस्टिंग है मैन पावर पे या फिर ड्रॉट एनिमल पे जाता है, वो रिड्यूस हो जाता है. और फिर भी FPO एंड FPC मॉडल जो है, फार्मर प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनी एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, दे आर वर्किंग वेरी गुड इन विद द फार्मर्स, and some cooperative societies, they are working with the farmers, and government also providing the so much subsidies and all that. So it will be helpful the marginal and small farmers.
And
right now, yes. Actually, some state governments are providing subsidy. Goa is providing 75% subsidy. Our Maharashtra's Pokra scheme is working for the Varda and Akola region. They are providing almost 50% to 60% subsidy. And actually this is a first ever machine in agriculture, EV machine. So we are facing a lot of problems for the certification. Because there are 4 institutes in India who are providing certification for tractor, power tiller and agriculture mechanization. But they don't have the policy or we can say the criteria for that. But I'm happy to share that from in last month we are applied for the certification in Hisar, because there are only Hisar, then Anantpur and Budni, and in Northeast there are 4 institutes who are providing the certification. Now we are applied for the certification in Hisar Institute as per the guidelines from the Additional Commissioner of Farm Mechanization. And within 3 to 4 months, they are certify it, and we are this machine is under the category of subsidies from central ministry schemes.
we will take last 1 or 2 questions.
This Krishi Gati,
Yes,
your operation which you have shown in video
Yeah.
was manually operated or automatic?
No, sir, it is automatically operated. We just have to guide that vehicle, because
Okay.
बैल के पीछे जैसे हम चलते थे, like
I
that.
accept
Yeah.
it. Next
And it
question
has a
is-
cruise mode also, automatic also, reverse mode also, like as our scooter, it operates.
Now the question is, since it is automatic, is it soil customized to soil quality and all?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
be
Actually, there,
automatic.
in India, there is too much diversity in soil also and crop field also, so we are taking care of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The another question for the health care people, a very common layman question, that we are adding more component in the ecosystem of medical, services. I'm very sorry for this. I'm a technology person.
Yeah.
But we are adding component in the whole ecosystem of medicine. Is it economical, or we are, creating?
Sir, I'll give you. I'll understand your question and I'll answer that. Sir, sir, this is a fact. The patient quality in India is the worst across the world. Why is this happening? Because the doctors who are present in the villages are starting the treatment with steroids. This is the last abort which the allopathy doctors prescribe. When nothing works, we prescribe steroids. But the start of the treatment is through steroids because of these doctors. So what happens? So I should ask this question to everyone. When was the last time you got admitted in the hospital? Leaving apart COVID. But do you remember when you got admitted? It rarely happens for the urban patient to get admitted in the hospital. If some surgery, that thing happens, but generally the urban patient do not get admitted for abdominal pain or these kind of things. But in the rural environment, when the patient drags the situation till it is impossible for the doctor to treat, then they go to the hospital and they get it treated. So they end up spending a lot of money in doing so. And even if they want to go to a city to get the treatment or to take an OPD advice, a lot of expenditure is done in traveling, lodging, boarding. And these people are daily wages. So their daily wages are also lost. So, and it is not a single person who's traveling, it is multiple people who are traveling along with the patient. So in that scenario, if we see, a lot of money is saved when the patient is getting a consultation in the rural sector only.
I'm sorry, no doctor is present there, I hope so. But
sir, I'd like to give us...
When you use the word assistant doctor, I will advise you to please address to doctor as a doctor. Because when you say that, the patient is addressing and he will be taken to assistant doctor, and then assistant doctor will consult the main doctor. So there is a confusion and ambiguity in the terms you have used. I hope that this is not there in your major system, assistant doctor concept. One more, very sorry.
Okay.
I will raise the question and then you answer. I'm sorry for this. Since you have said that you have expressed distrust on the doctors, I'm very sorry, the whole system. Why people should trust you?
Sir, the quality of doctors, I cannot say that, okay, I'm having the best quality of doctors. Okay, agreed. But the thing is that in India, we have seen the homeopathy doctors, Ayurvedic doctors are prescribing allopathy medicine, which is not legal and which is not correct. No, sir, both the things are there. Sir, not directly, they are not allowed to prescribe allopathy medicine, sir. Sir, it is exactly, it is a big debate and still the resolution is not there.
Yeah, thank you. I think we are way ahead of our time.
I'm not saying that, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's the last question.
Looking at the time, we will have to move to the next session. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, can you listen? Okay. Question for Sonali. You know, all your machinery has certain mechanical component and it may fail. It's possible that, because it's in a very hard condition, in a field, it may be uneven, etc. It may fall down. So, like as you start scaling up and the EV vehicles start going out to other parts of India and how do you handle the maintenance and repair of these things? Have you thought of that? That's number one. And number two is for a farmer, let's say marginal farmer, can he, let's say, because the expense you mentioned, although in spite of, can he share it with few other farmers, so that he can actually reduce his expense and also at the same time it becomes very economical for him to, acquire it?
The failure parts or after sale service part. So for agriculture, there are some metal also, means they have provided the standard guidelines
for the metal also what we are using. And for the sales, after sales and service, there are major 3 components, 3 to 4 components, which have we took care of. And all the other components, we are using standard components, like as wheels and all that, we are using Splendor wheels, Activa wheels, because अगर छोटे गांव में अगर जाता है तो वहाँ पे वो रिपेयर हो सकता है अगर छोटा छोटा प्रॉब्लम हो तो. Then we are building a dealer and distributor ship network. So we are going to train 1 person at each level.
Thank you all. In looking at the time, if there are any questions from the audience, there will be a tea and networking session. So the innovators will be present around, so the audience questions can be taken then there. So I think I would request sir for the final remarks, Mr. Mukesh.
You already
Sorry, I mean, it is one from the judge. Would you allow? It is for Sonali. What is the import content in your equipment? And secondly, what is the KW rating? Because the small power tillers, they have failed earlier. So what is the KW rating of your machine? And the batteries, what kind of battery you are using?
Yeah, actually, there is one component only which we are exporting from overseas, but we are developing a solution for that also in India itself. And your another question is a battery, related to battery. We are using a lithium phosphate battery, advanced battery, considering all the adverse condition in agriculture, and it is 48 volts battery, and it is easily carried out by the farmers for the charging and like that.
What is the KW rating?
Actually, sir, I am not able to answer that question right now. I will share with you. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, sir.
Seeing that we are already 25 minutes over the time allocated, I think I will abjure from any long concluding remarks, except that I wish all the participants here, all the finalists, the best of luck in their endeavors ahead. And each one of them has a product or a service which is of great value. And they're all in their early stages, and I'm sure that so many of the questions that have been raised from the audience here will be answered in due course as things get better. But the basic direction and the basic value proposition, I think, is very sound, and I wish them all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Now I would like to invite Mr. Pradeep Bhargava sir to present Mr. Mukesh Malhotra with a token of love. And also a group picture after that, sir. Can we get everyone here for the picture? One group picture. Oh, sir, please, sir. Once again, thank you, everyone. Now we move on to our final session today, which is in tribal innovation. To chair that, I would like to invite Dr. K.V. Somasundram, sir. Sir is currently the Director and Associate Professor at School of Public Health and Social Medicine. He is also the Program Director and Faculty for Master of Public Health Social Work. He is the Dean, Faculty of Allied Health Sciences, PIMS, DU, Loni Science since 2021. We welcome you, sir. And I also invite all our innovators in tribal category on stage for the session. So to state the basic ground rules again, the innovators will present their innovation. You have 7 minutes to present, and there will be a timer at 1 minute at the end of the pitch. And after all the innovators have presented their presentations, there will be a 15-minute Q&A for the jury. Thank you. Sir, I would like to request you to take up the session.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for giving this opportunity to Pravara Institute of Medical Sciences, which has been working in the tribal areas for almost 25 years. Day before yesterday, that was 15th November, was celebrated, I think all of you know, by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs as the Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. It means that in the honor of the indigenous people of this country, and which was celebrated on the occasion of the birthday of the Bhagwan Jirsa Munda, who was the freedom fighter from the tribal community, like many other freedom fighters who have been working in the tribal areas during the times of British rule. Taking that occasion, of course, even the International Institute of Pune, this conference is also giving the importance for the tribal innovations. Even the Planning Commission, since beginning, had only urban and rural. That was only the Planning Commission has bifurcated for all developmental indicators. It was always the urban and rural, but in recent times, of course, the importance is given to the tribal areas also, who represents the almost 104 million population of this country, with almost 705 tribal communities across the country, with 75 primitive tribes. That is, they are called particularly vulnerable groups of this tribal community. And of course, innovation has been in the DNA of the tribal community. They have been sustaining for millennia years with all the changes that have been happening, whether in the urban or any other arena, but they have been adjusting their lifestyles and everything, and maintaining their all the quality of life according to them, of course, because this is a sustainable society that has been there. But of course, to certain extent, when it comes to the sustainable development goals, the recent report of 2022, we are at 121 out of the 163 countries. And we are slowly coming down. For last 3 years, if we see, from 2020, we were 117. From 2021, we were 120, now 121. This means there is something that all we have to all the planning development workers have to think of. Because why this? Because the rural and tribal lot almost 60% of our population, of which if we see the poorest of the poor, the quantile, the last quantile is the tribal people. So unless we include the tribal population, the developmental indicators of the tribal people, we cannot achieve the sustainable developmental goals. All the 17 goals, out of which 11 goals we are facing stiff challenge. All those 11 goals are addressed to the tribal people, whether it is health, livelihood, poverty, hunger, all these things. So unless innovation, because innovation, and that too now it is social innovation. Social innovation is doing something different to the society, and this society which requires that social innovation much. And I congratulate all my group here, those who have done their bit in innovating something in the tribal sector. That is very, very commendable. here, and I congratulate all of them for doing this commendable work, and I think I will encourage each one to present their innovative ideas here so that they can get the nod of the acceptors here. And of course, this is a beginning, and maybe there will be times to scale up all these innovations. Thank you very much. And what I could see in the list, they have covered almost all the important areas of innovation and sectors, starting from health to livelihood to waste management and other things. So I would like to invite first Radhesh Agrahari from Mudita and Radhesh Private Limited. Mudita and Radhesh Private Limited upcycles the chicken waste generated in butcheries to create woolen fibers and fertilizers, and helps in reducing the impact of the slaughtering process on the environment.
गुड आफ्टरनून, मेरा नाम राधेश है और मैं यूपी का रहने वाला हूँ। और मैंने मतलब मैं अपना प्रेजेंटेशन स्टार्ट करने से पहले आप लोगों से एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहता हूँ कि यहाँ पे कितने सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो चिकन खाते हैं? चिकन कितने? अरे ऑलमोस्ट यहाँ पर तो सभी लोग खाते हैं चिकन। इंडिया में मैं बताऊँ कि इंडिया में 65% लोग चिकन एज अ फूड खाते हैं। और मेरी कंपनी बेसिकली क्या करती है, इस चिकन बूचरी वेस्ट पे काम करती है, इसको कलेक्ट करती है। तो जब आप इस चिकन बूचरी वेस्ट पे काम खरीदने जाते हैं चिकन, इंडिया में चिकन लोग ताज़ा खाने का कल्चर है कि सामने काटो और फिर खाओ। तो क्या होता है कि यहाँ जो प्रॉब्लम है कि जब आप 1 केजी चिकन लेने जाते हैं तो उसमें 650 ग्राम चिकन जो होता है वो खाने वाला होता है, और 350 ग्राम चिकन जो होता है वो वेस्ट होता है। और उस चिकन बूचरी वेस्ट से बहुत सारा पोल्यूशन होता है। जैसे आप ये मान के चलिए कि अगर आप ये देखें तो दिल्ली एनसीआर और यूपी में सिर्फ 3 लाख करोड़ टन कचरा पानी में चला जाता है, जो कि वाटर पॉल्यूशन का 32.17% कॉज है। और ये एक ऐसा कचरा है जो 8 घंटे में पानी में मेल्ट हो जाता है। अब इस कचरे से हम लोग 27 सैनिटाइजेशन प्रोसेस से प्रोसेस करते हैं, जो कि बहुत ही नेचुरल है, इसमें कोई केमिकल हम लोग यूज़ नहीं करते। इस कचरे को काम करने के लिए अपने 10 साल इसमें खर्च किए सर, और इस पे हमने इसको डिफरेंट अलग अलग सेग्रीगेशन प्रोसेस से प्रोसेस किया, और इससे हम 4 तरह की चीज़ें बनाते हैं: फेदर, फर्टिलाइज़र, ब्लड बॉल्स एंड पेपर्स। प्लीज प्ले द song. बेसिकली जो ये प्रोसेस है, ये 27 सैनिटाइजेशन प्रोसेस को फॉलो करते हैं, जिसमें हम 100 डिग्री स्टीम देते हैं, एलएम प्रोसेस करते हैं, और डिफरेंट अलग अलग इसको प्रोसेस करके सेग्रीगेट करके हम इससे वेट स्पिनिंग बनाते हैं। वेट स्पिनिंग एक ऐसा क्राफ्ट है कि जो कि इंडिया में 1828 के पहले ख़त्म हो गया था, ये क्राफ्ट डेड हो गया था। तो इस क्राफ्ट को हमने रिवाइव किया, और इससे जो प्रोडक्ट बनता है, इसको आप ये देखिए कि एज अ जीएसएम क्वालिटी में देखें, अगर ये प्रोडक्ट की क्वालिटी देखें तो 111 जीएसएम यानी वर्ल्ड का सबसे हल्का फाइबर है जो कि हमने इस कचरे से निकाला है। और अभी तक आप देखते होंगे कि पश्मीना जो है सबसे ज़्यादा लाइट वेटेड और गर्म कपड़ा होता है। तो हमने इस जो हमारा ये चिकन फेदर है वो 111 जीएसएम इसका लाइट वेट है, और इसके अलावा इसकी एलोंगेंस भी अच्छी है, इसका टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ कंपेरेटिव टू जितने भी नेचुरल फाइबर्स हैं अभी तक सबसे बेस्ट है, और ये इसका ब्लंट कंपोजिशन देखा जाए तो 91% है। आप इसका 2.5 मीटर का शॉल, इस 2.5 मीटर का शॉल आप एक फिंगर रिंग से आराम से निकाल सकते हैं। आप इसको देख सकते हैं कि ये साल जैसे आप पश्मीना देखते हैं कि फिंगर रिंग टेस्ट होता है, तो ये शॉल को आप बहुत ही ईजिली आप फिंगर रिंग से निकाल सकते हैं। प्लीज प्ले द इस चिकन फेदर में, इस बुचरी वेस्ट में 4 तरह का फेदर होता है, जैसे नेक फेदर, टेल फेदर, विंग फेदर और बैक फेदर। तो हम लोग इसको वुमेंस, ट्राइबल वुमेंस को हम ट्रेन करते हैं और ट्रेन करके हम उसके फेदर्स को सेग्रीगेट करते हैं। नेक फेदर अलग कर लेते हैं, विंग्स फेदर अलग कर लेते हैं, टेल्स, और इसका सबका पर्पज़ अलग है। ये 5 रुपये का जो फेदर है हम इंडिया से बाहर यूरोप और यूएस में 10,000 रुपये किलो बेचते हैं। जैसे नेक फेदर है एज अ फिलर यूज़ होता है, बैक फेदर एज अ स्पिनिंग यूज़ होता है, और विंग्स और बाकी बॉडी फेदर है उसको हम एज अ पेपर यूज़ करते हैं। अगर पेपर की बात करें तो आप ये देखिए कि महाराष्ट्र में 23 लाख पेड़ कट जाते हैं, तब लोगों के घरों में न्यूज़पेपर आता है और लोग उसको पढ़ने के बाद फेंक देते हैं। तो हम उस जो कार्बन एमिशन का क्रिएट हो रहा है या कम और ज़्यादा हो रहा है, तो उसको हम कम कर रहे हैं इसके थ्रू। ये हमारी आईपी है। अगर हम ट्राइबल वुमेन्स की बात करें तो लास्ट 2019 में हमने 65 लाख रुपए का बिजनेस किया, जिसमें हमने डायरेक्टली जो ट्राइबल वुमेन्स थी उनको हमने 35 लाख रुपए का बिजनेस दिया। और ये अगर देखा जाए तो इसमें मटेरियल कॉस्ट कुछ नहीं है, इसमें मोस्टली जो कॉस्ट है मटेरियल कॉस्ट इज़ 0, और जो इसका प्रोडक्शन और जो टेक्निक की कॉस्ट है वो मेन कॉस्ट है। तो इससे बेनिफिट्स डायरेक्टली ट्राइबल वुमेन्स को मिलता है। हमने 2017 में जब स्टार्ट किया तो बेसिकली 2010 से इसमें काफ़ी लॉन्ग जर्नी रही कि कई सारे लोगों ने इसको, मतलब ये चिकन है छुएंगे नहीं, ये कपड़ा है पहनेंगे नहीं, बहुत सारी चीज़ें रही। बट 2017 में मैंने इसकी सिर्फ रजाइयाँ, जयपुरिया रजाई की जगह इसका फेदर भर के बदला, बेचा मार्केट में, और बहुत अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स रहा। फिर उसके बाद धीरे धीरे हमने हर साल हमने इस वेट स्पिनिंग टेक्निक डेवलप करी, हमने इसका धागा बनाया, इसका पेपर बनाया, और हमने अपने रेवेन्यूज को, और इस साल का रेवेन्यू का टारगेट हमारा 5 CR का है। अभी हम गुड्स अगेन यूएसए में भेज रहे हैं, आयुर्वेस्ट्रम यूएसए में भेज रहे हैं। हमारा सबसे बड़ा बायर ट्राइब्स इंडिया है, जो कि 140 आउटलेट्स है जहाँ पर हमारे आपको ये प्रोडक्ट्स मिल सकते हैं। इसके अलावा हमने 25,000 kg हम मंथली अपना फर्टिलाइज़र बनाते हैं। 350 ग्राम वूल जो बनाते हैं स्पिनेबल क्वालिटी जिसमें है, वो तकरीबन 10 से 12,000 रुपये kg बिकता है। सोशल इम्पैक्ट एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी, हमारे पास शुरू में बेसिकली क्या हुआ कि रैक पिकर्स जो पॉलीथीन बिनते या सारी चीज़ें करते हैं, उनको हमने ट्रेन किया। 150 रैक पिकर्स हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, 200 ट्राइबल फैमिलीज हमारे साथ काम कर रही हैं। 50,000 kg फेदर बूचरी वेस्ट हम लोग कलेक्ट करते हैं और उससे हम फेदर्स निकालते हैं। अभी तक हमने 23 लाख पीपल के पेड़ के बराबर की CO2 प्रिजर्व कर दी है। उसके अलावा हमारे साथ जो पेपर्स और जितना स्किन पेपर्स में भी हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं। फ्यूचर प्लान्स में अभी बेसिकली हम लोग क्योंकि एज ये 6th नेचुरल फाइबर हमने इन्वेंट किया है, तो हम इसको एज बाहर जाकर इसको एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, बाकी चीज़ें करने की प्लान कर रहे हैं। इसके अलावा जैसे अभी मैंने बताया कि हम आर्मी के लिए भी काम कर रहे हैं कि ये -30 डिग्री सेल्सियस में भी ये सर्वाइव कर सकता है। इसका हाईली इंसुलेटेड मटेरियल है। अभी तक का सबसे ज़्यादा ग्लास फाइबर था जो कि हाईली इंसुलेटेड मटेरियल की तरह यूज़ होता था। तो हम इसके MDF बना रहे हैं, हम आर्मी के लिए कपड़े बना रहे हैं, तो उसमें भी हम लोग जा रहे हैं। इसके अलावा हमने वर्ल्ड का बेस्ट डिज़ाइन अवार्ड जीता है, वो भी फर्स्ट अटैम्प्ट। आज तक इंडिया में अभी तक जर्मन डिज़ाइन अवार्ड आया ही नहीं है, और हमने ओवरऑल कैटेगरी में फर्स्ट अटैम्प्ट में जर्मन डिज़ाइन अवार्ड जीता है। हमने बेस्ट डिज़ाइन एक्सीलेंस अवार्ड जीता है। इसके अलावा CIA का इंडस्ट्रियल डिज़ाइन अवार्ड भी हमारे पास है। ये हमारी टीम है जिसमें मोस्टली डिज़ाइंस, और बेसिकली अभी हम लोग CSR फंडिंग और ये सारी चीज़ें देख रहे हैं फॉर द आर ट्राइबल वुमेन्स, जो कि एक्चुअल में उनके लिए काम हो रहे हैं, उनके लिए घर बना रहे हैं, उनके जैसे करगा घर बना रहे हैं, उनके लिए पेपर के लिए हैंडमेड पेपर्स के लिए बना रहे हैं। और वो ऑर्डर्स जैसे कॉर्पोरेट्स के कई सारे, जैसे यूएस एम्बेसी से हमारे पास पेपर की रिम बनाने का, प्रिंटेबल पेपर का हमारे पास ऑर्डर आया है। हमारे पास स्टोल्स का ऑर्डर आया कि जो कि कई ऐसी संस्थाएं जिनको जहाँ पर हम लोग अपने शॉल्स और अपने स्टोल्स दे सकते हैं। थैंक यू।
Thank you very much. I think everybody agree with me that it is the best maybe tribal developmental model that can be emulated even at the national level, wherever the tribal people are using this, because it's not even a, because majority of the times it happens, any tribal model is ethnocentric. Because one tribe, whatever they are doing, maybe the other tribe may not be doing. But this is a universal type of a model, I think, applied in all the 15 dominated tribal states and about 800 tribal districts. I think you should approach the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. There is a division there for, I think, encouraging the innovations like this. And not only that, because you have addressed the social innovation perfectly here. That is helping the society, the neighborhood tribal people are being benefited by this. Although the business model is there, it is a very good business model that you have explained, but it is a, first thing is the local tribal people will be benefited from this. Thank you very much for presenting this.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would request you to present a token of love too. Sir, we can move to the next presentation. I request the innovators to be crisp for 7 minutes. We are running out of time.
Yeah, I will quickly, next presenter, I welcome Neelkant Mishra, Center for Aquatic Livelihood, Jal Jeevika.
Yeah. So, thank you for providing us opportunity to present our journey here. Yeah, it's very organic after chicken fish for the tribal development. Yeah. So we focus only on the aquatic livelihood. When we started in 2013, we thought we will do all the aquatic food production system. And the idea was, like, there is so much of water body across world, food production area is going down, so water is the next production system. So let's start working on that. Unfortunately, for last 10 years, we are still stuck to fishes. We cannot go to Makhana and Sighara. So that's the learning part. As a process, if I say, we are not working only on product. It's a graduation model for the community. It's a process which ultimately culminated to as a livelihood, value chain development engagement. So I will share one of the experience. Like in many of the districts, we find like cooperative, fishery cooperatives, and lot of the tribal area also there are the cooperatives. So we started working for last 3-4 years with several, even in the Pune, Junner area, we work with the Katkari tribes in Yavatmal, Gondia, Gadchiroli. So after 3-4 years of engagement, when they graduated and started their institution building process at a proper level, we engaged with as an incubator agency, like many of the agencies do it here. We engaged with the tribal department, and in the last 1 year, we raised 3.6 CR, nearly 500,000 USD for the infrastructure development of this tribal cooperative. So now they are building their own feed storage unit, their cold storage unit, vehicle, everything, so that those institutions can work as a value chain development institution. So how this process happens, if I say, so there are lots of pain points in the fishery sector. The majorly extension is the prime, where people don't know how the different technology. We started with the pond, and now world is moving towards the biofloc, recirculative agriculture. But the farmers are not aware. So though many unutilized water body, nearly, and another very good, I remember, sir, you had mentioned, like in most of the agriculture crop, India is 2nd or 3rd in the world. Same in the fish, we are 2nd in the world. But the difference between the 1st and 2nd is 60% gap. So there's nothing to get pride, but that is the reason 4 million unutilized hectare water body. And in India, 70% of our fish production is from fresh water, like pond. So this only 3 million hectare is providing 70% of fish production. If we utilize all slowly, then how much livelihood it can generate. So that's the focus area, and this is our process. In the village area, we have our aqua school. Aqua school is a physical setup where all the technology from ornamental fishery to biofloc, everything people learn. And once they start doing the practice, real testing comes at the time of practice. So whatever there is challenges, those instructors, they help them. And once they are trained, go for the field, the challenge comes the credit. So unfortunately, credit is one of the major challenge for entrepreneur as well as for farmers. But they need very micro credit system immediately. Recently, we partnered with Rangde, a technology platform, to start a P2P model, Aqua Fund, where collateral-free immediate funding support is provided to farmer. But we don't provide the credit. We get engaged in their entire production cycle, in their learning cycle. And to provide them the quality input, market linkages, we have another model post that is called Aquamart, which is again a service and input supply agency within the community, where farmers are engaged with the not only getting the good quality input, but also day-to-day advisory support, installation related support. And this is the process of Aqua School, where it's a graduation model. Step by step, we link the individual and institutions to become an entrepreneur, adopt entrepreneur thing. And as a future thing that we think of, like bridging the gap of from farmers to entrepreneur journey, as well as why not use Aqua Fund in coming days when a lot of data comes through, a kind of formal scoring system based on the farmers' food production ability rather than their expenditure ability. So all those things are the future where we need more and more mentoring from the technology partner and the institutions. In Aquamart system, we want to basically focus on the branding of local fishes. That is one of the challenges. The cage and the production system is moving towards tilapia or pangas, which is having its market, but also not good for the biodiversity. Whereas the local fishes, which is available in different districts like Nagaland or Bihar, any other areas that have their own distinct medicinal value, health value, cultural value, why not to brand all those variety of things? So that's the future role of Aquamart. And as a process, we are focusing more at the bottom of pyramid, like women fish vendor are one of the category of micro entrepreneur, whereas the small farmers as a producer. But slowly we are building towards the higher level of farmers collective, farmers producer company, as well as the people who can engage more as a entrepreneur farmers. And we have worked in the various tribal parts from the Gondia, Gadchiroli up to Malkangiri part, and lots of learning. From those learning now we have synthesized our business process. So now, as you mentioned, working with the department, we thought working with the National Rural Livelihood Mission could be a really good vehicle to scale up the idea and cross across country. So this year our target is to build 10 Aqua School, reach 10,000 farmer, but later on by 2025 we want to go nearly like 1,100,000 farmer to leverage. And yeah, as a differentiator, there are so many actors, but we want to be open source, focus on the gender inclusive thing, and share whatever learning and knowledges we have with the stakeholder engagement. In this forum, our thing is like, how can we develop partnership with a lot of CSR, philanthropy, who are working in the local area to use water as a production system. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. It is again a bottom-up approach with a participative model of development. And you have addressing two of the major challenges. One is the food security and also nutrition security and the livelihood. These are very important for the tribal people, and also women empowerment. Thank you very much for this.
Sir.
I call upon Sanjeev Kumar Singh, Forestica Booty Private Limited.
Namaskar, good evening everybody. My name is Sanjeev Singh. I'm founder of Forestica Booty Private Limited. What Forestica is basically engaged into that. We are trying to provide a gateway to a healthier lifestyle and a greener tomorrow. Basically, I'm trying to empower Datun. Going into the brief, please next slide. In our earlier days in India, for oral cleaning, we are targeting oral cleaning very first. In oral cleaning, we were using Datun. That was simply twigs of neem, babul, karanj, sakwa, etc. Fine. And there were so many tribal women, they were engaged to sell this. That was like kind of business to sell the oral care product. Over the period, by the coming this toothbrush and paste, what has happened? We have forgotten our own thing. Fine. So the problem, we lost our own system. That is the one problem. The women who were selling their Datun, they lost their job. That is the second problem. Third one, that by getting this new thing, plastic toothbrush, we created one more problem, getting a huge plastic junk. Fine. That is the third problem. Fourth problem, India being a developing country, what is being there, brush is not bad. But we are overutilizing the brush, overusing the brush. Fine. One toothbrush, 3 months, 4 months. Again, we created the problem. So I address this problem basically. What we have done, I invented a technology, a machine. We got the IP protected technology by which, next slide please. Yeah, these are the problems what we addressed. What the problem was and what we created, fine. So I addressed both of these problems and I developed a machine and a technology and a process by which we can expose the bristles into the natural twigs of the fresh neem, babul, karanj and sakwa without losing its juice content. Fine, you can make a brush. You can chew the datun, you can hammer the datun, you can make a brush. But by retaining the medicinal value of these twigs and to make a brush and to give it a sustainable life, to make it a consumer durable product, fine. Giving 90 days, 100 days or more than complete 9 months, जहाँ तक उसका ब्रश बिल्कुल फ्रेश रहेगा, कस्टमर के लिए यूज़ करने लायक बना रहेगा, वो मैंने डेवलप किया है बेसिकली. इट्स अ स्मॉल इनोवेशन दैट इज नेम ऑफ इजी दातून यू कैन से और बायो ब्रश. So we are giving an oral solution for you. And how we are addressing all the problem? First thing that we will be reducing plastic toothbrush 100%. We would not be recycling that. We will be eliminating plastic toothbrush. First thing. Second thing that the women, the tribal women who have lost their job, they can get their job, they can get their fair value for their produce. Second thing would be there. Third thing, being in India, since we are overusing the plastic toothbrush could be reduced. Uska काफी सारा medical hazards हैं. I'm not going into detail much, but there are. People are suffering from thyroid, cancer, a lot of things are there. They are my buyers, fine. Because कहने को है कि पेस्ट है, उसमें जो भी चीज़ डली हुई फ्लोराइड, लेकिन आपके साथ में कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ नहीं होगा. जिनका थायराइड नॉर्मल है उनके साथ चलेगा, पर जिनका थायराइड ऑलरेडी कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड है उनके लिए फ्लोराइड किसी भी स्थिति में अच्छा नहीं है. फाइन. बीइंग I'm just knowing it from my consumers. Now coming to the point, next slide please. In the COVID duration also and post-COVID also we got a huge impact, and I developed a small portable machine. This is a very small portable machine which could be deployed into rural areas. It does require यहाँ पे मोटर और बिजली रहेगा चलेगा, और अगर मोटर बिजली नहीं रहे तो पैडल से भी ऑपरेट हो सकता है. और गांव की महिलाओं को इसको चलाने के लिए मुश्किल से 4 या 5 घंटे की ट्रेनिंग देनी पड़ती है. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. ओके फाइन फाइन. एंड जो ये प्लास्टिक का ब्रश कीटाणु हैं और इससे जो पानी बचेगा, एक लीटर पानी खर्च करते हैं आप पेस्ट टू ब्रश करते समय में, और अगर आप इजी दातून या बायो ब्रश यूज़ करते हैं तो आपको पानी से गार्गल करने के लिए चाहिए होता है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. Yes, now I conclude this is sustainability. Fine. We are not cutting any tree. We are just trimming the branch. So जो भी लकड़ी का branch आप काटते हैं 56 days में दोबारा reappear हो जाती है. That is a real true sustainability by my side. क्योंकि किसी गांव के लेडीज के घर के बाहर अगर 5 पेड़ हैं, उसने अगर दातून की 5 डंडियाँ काटी है तो वापस दोबारा 56 दिन में आ जाएंगी वो. उसको कुछ भी नहीं खरीदना है. And you will be getting a fresh brush, with completely medicinal brush, no plastic at all. एंड एक चीज़ जो बहुत बड़ी गलतफहमी हमारी जो प्लास्टिक के धातुओं ने मतलब डिस्पोजेबल है, करेंगे फेंक देंगे, नो, वी मेड द ब्रश विच इज रीयूजेबल यट डिस्पोजेबल ब्रश. प्लीज गो नेक्स्ट. These are 2 or 3 forms over here. This is small tweaks, fine. बहुत ज़्यादा हाई-फाई टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है. These are the brushes, absolutely fresh tweaks, small tweaks. This is applicator. You want to use this or not? Doesn't matter. We have different variety also. Fresh भी मिल जाएगा. उसको dip भी कर देते हैं सरसों तेल और नमक में, which doesn't require anything else. Simply dip into water and brush. Twice or thrice you can use these tweaks, fine. And then you can throw it up. Next slide, please. Like this is पंचबुटी ब्रश, सिंपल डबल साइडेड ब्रश. लकड़ी को बिल्कुल वेस्ट नहीं किया गया, वहाँ पे छोटा ट्विक से विद एप्लीकेटर. यहाँ पे इधर भी ब्रश है, इधर भी ब्रश है. इसको एज ए होल्डर यूज़ करें, डिप करें पानी में, ब्रश करें, फेंके नहीं, दोबारा यूज़ कर लें, वापस यहाँ से खोलें, यहाँ से ब्रश करें और इसको फिर फेंकें. यहाँ 4 दिन चल जाएगा आराम से. दिस वी मेंट फॉर द होटल इंडस्ट्री एंड फॉर रिटेल. दिस इज़ फॉर कम्प्लीटली फॉर मॉडर्न ट्रेड लाइक स्नैपडील एंड फ्लिपकार्ट, जहाँ पे 30 पीस जाते हैं या आप साल भर का बुक करा सकते हैं. हैंडल एक ही बार खरीदना है, 3 साल चलेगा और ये ट्विक्स आपको साल का 600 रुपये देना है और आपके घर पे पहुंच जाएगा हर महीने. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. मार्केट से मेरे हिसाब से मैं बोलूँगा उससे ज़्यादा आपको पता है, आप सब लोग यूज़ करते ही करते हैं, है ना. सो मार्केट एक्सेसिबल, बट वी आर ट्राइंग टू फोकस फॉर द होटल इंडस्ट्री वेरी फर्स्ट, वेरी वर टारगेटेड मार्केट, जहाँ पे डेंटल किट आपको गेस्ट एमिनिटीज में मिलता है और 10 रुपये 80 पैसे का पड़ता है प्लास्टिक का पेस्ट और ब्रश उनके गेस्ट के लिए. एंड वी कैन रियली रिप्लेस दैट. And we want to be from India to Europe even, fine, that is our clear aim. हमारे माँ बाप ने हमको हाथ में पेस्ट और ब्रश दिया है, मेरे बच्चे सिर्फ पेस्ट और ब्रश नहीं करेंगे, बायो ब्रश जरूर करेंगे, फाइन. प्लीज नेक्स्ट. और आज के टाइम में गुटखा मसाला खाने वाले लोग बहुत सारे हैं, उनका पेस्ट और ब्रश से इलाज नहीं हो पा रहा है, फाइन. बट हमारा जो करंज का ब्रश है झारखंड में जो होता है, इट्स अ वेरी वेरी गुड हर्ब्स. अगर ये ब्रश आप यूज़ करते हैं तो आपका 50% स्टेन रिमूवर हो जाएगा. Not with the neem and of course with the currant and with the babul. बबूल का ब्रश राजस्थान में बनता है. इस छोटे छोटे पाउचेज में हम लोग अवेलेबल है. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. नेक्स्ट. यस, वी आर बेस्ड देयर इनटू झारखंड. राजस्थान में नीम और बबूल बनता है, झारखंड में करंज और सखुआ बनता है, अहमदाबाद में भी नीम बनता है, हिमाचल वी आर ट्राइंग टू बी ओवर देयर. नेक्स्ट. ओके फाइन. मेरी मशीन CSR में लोग खरीद सकते हैं, लगा सकते हैं, गाँव को इम्प्लॉयमेंट मिल जाएगा. होटल्स वी आर ट्राइंग फॉर, ऑनलाइन वेबसाइट से आप मेरा प्रोडक्ट खरीद सकते हैं. इन्वेस्टमेंट क्वेश्चन मार्क, जितना चाहें आप लगाएं. आपको डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरशिप लेनी है, आपको होटल्स में लगाना है, आप CSR में हैं, जितनी डिप्लॉयड करना चाहें उतना करें, लेकिन बायो ब्रश को सब जगह पहुंचाए. दिस इज माई रिक्वेस्ट. दिस इज रियली गुड प्रोडक्ट एंड एब्सोल्युटली बेस्ट अल्टरनेट फॉर प्लास्टिक टूथब्रश. थैंक यू वेरी वेरी मच. दिस इज माई स्मॉल टीम. Not costing less than just 2 rupees per day only. Economical. Bye bye.
Thank you, Sanjeev Kumar Singh, for your interesting presentation, which is a value addition with appropriate technology you are trying to apply here. I would like to invite Devan Chandrasekharan, Shishulaj Innovations Private Limited.
Very good evening to everyone. I am Devan Chandrasekharan, Managing Director of Agritech Startup Fuselage Innovations. We are based at Cochin, Kerala. And let me start with the problems addressing in the tribal agriculture ecosystem. During our interaction with the farmers, we could learn that they are facing problems with the crop damage, plant treatment methods, and post-natural calamities issues, and basically biotic and abiotic stress associated with the crops. I am also from farming background family, and I come to know the tribal products, in agri products, there are a huge market value in foreign countries. So we identified some companies and the spices extracting organizations who associated with the tribal agri sector, and we fuselage innovations proposing before the OCAS panel the process of unmanned aerial vehicle or drones, that is from the Nirik-Sheji UAV to the FIA UAV, the crop protection UAV. Let me explain the process, what the two drones are doing and how the interconnection between these two drones works in between the ecosystem. Like we know that the plant treatment based on the soil characteristics, but how it will be that leaf characteristics will work, that the thing we move forward with this technology implementation. So the Nirik-Sheji UAV integrated with the spectral sensors, that is from the near infrared, infrared, red edge, RGB and thermal sensors, and these sensors are capturing the data as in the form of images. Then we processing these images for the 2D 3D maps, and again processing for the vegetation index maps. Then visualize and understand the crop growth stages and stress levels. We identify in the crop damage, and geotagging is also taken care of, and these GIS informations integrating to the farm management software. Finally, the prescription of spot and controlled application of prescription is doing through the crop protection drone of FIA. So here it is the entire process, like we identifying the data through the spectral sensors, and very next day we taking care of multiple of analysis, and finally the unmanned operation of aerial spraying in taking care of. Like normally if the farmer they identify any crop damage, they usually provide foliar applications to the entire crop acreage. So instead of that, we providing a controlled and spot application. So our uniqueness, like our value proposition into two aspects. As a drone manufacturer, we providing as a product solution, and the farmer who can't afford the technology as in the initial stage, we provide as a service solution, and in which we providing a better prediction and early detection to predetermine the farming activity before harvest. So the farmers can redirect for the best farming practices. And our product, both the drones are, we may know that the Navic system we are integrated, and the data accuracy when comparing with the other drone players in the market, none of them are in providing scientific prescriptions as per data, and the data accuracy is around we can achieve around less than 10 centimeter. So currently the IP is provisionally filed and the trademark and copyrighted. And the market size we observe based on the farmland sizes all over India, we observe around $4 million. And the business model, like in the ecosystem, we are into as a B2B and B2C as a farmers producing companies, organizations, and also with the direct farmers. And we providing as a right now we penetrating our product to the international market also, like our product ensuring the data security, as well as we ensuring open source platform to ensure the product at its effectively. So let's discuss about what the impact we made in last 2 years. And after incorporation, we worked around 3,500 farmers, and we could generate 30 crore profit in between them. How it will possible? Like the entire process making them a yield change is happening, that is 30 to 40% of yield increase is happening, and the reduction of agriculture input, like in the nutrients, fertilizer, and the biopesticide. Like the tribal sector farmers using a traditional practices, they not using any kind of poisonous pesticide. The same methodology we introduced, and we managing the pest with the another pest, that is bio agents. May you hear about Beauveria bassiana pseudomonas, like that. And we are more intended to like dead land recovery, like the agriculture landscape may not use for farming practices due to the saline or acidic nature. So at that area we managing, like recovering through foliar application, and it's helped the farmers to more engaging to the farming practices in more area. So here it is our journey so far. We started as a R&D model, and after all that we identified the impact creation between the ecosystem, and we have been part of multiple of national and international accelerator program, and UNDP India, who's listed our project into Sustainable Development Goals Zero Hunger category and connecting tribal areas in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. And now after a number of research and validation with the agriculture universities, ICAR and ICRISAT, who validated our technology, and now we are focusing on to the pan-India level expansion. So here it is our team working behind the entire project, and me and my sister Devika, we are the core team, we are the management team, and we have R&D team as well as the entomologist team, and we have mentors from the different ecosystem to giving the direction as in the sustainable project. So there we got, like, for this journey we got number of grants, and we got innovation challenge by the announced as winner in national and innovation international challenge. So here it is, the success stories what we made in different scenarios, and we started with the 7.5 lakh with the from the Ministry of Agriculture. Now we crossed around 1 crore of profit as a valuation in 2022. And we Fuselage Innovations always believe that technology is a great equalizer, so that we more working towards the good agriculture practices to grow more. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In tribal areas, agriculture has been always primitive, and any technological innovations are always helpful to upgrade the economic viability of the agriculture sustainability of the tribal areas. Keeping in view of the small land holding in the tribal areas and the terrains, maybe the drone technology may be helpful in all types of terrains in the tribal areas. It would be a very welcome viable solution, innovative solution for tribal development. Thank you very much. Now I call upon Nupur Poharkar from Pirul Handicrafts.
Okay, so very good afternoon to everyone present here. I am Dr. Nupur Poharkar from Pirul Handicrafts. Pirul stands for pine plus rural, and it is also the local term for pine needles that we use. Next. Okay, so we operate from a very beautiful yet remote village in Uttarakhand. It's called Kheti Khan in Champawat district. Major occupation in the village is agriculture and cattle rearing, and average monthly income through these activities is merely 3,000 to 5,000 rupees per month. So majority of the men have migrated to the cities in search of labor, and all the responsibilities in the villages, everything related to agriculture and cattle rearing, cooking, tending to children, bringing firewood for cooking, everything is handled by the women of Kheti Khan, or I would say super women of Kheti Khan. I would like to highlight here that these problem statement might seem typical for any village, but these are exaggerated when it comes to hills due to the hilly terrain and the extreme weather conditions. The village is also blessed with 29,000 hectares of pine forest, which shed enormous amount of pine needles every year. So these pine needles are basically the dried leaves of pine tree, which are shed throughout the year. And these pine needles degrade slowly in the environment. These are not consumed by animals, and having high resin content are a major cause of forest fire in Uttarakhand. So these pine needles accumulate year after year and form a plastic-like sheath over the surface of the ground, which leads to increase in surface runoff of water and depletion of groundwater table. Being a veterinarian, I also observed that many animals slip off due to these pine needles, and which causes injuries and fractures to them. So it is very much required to pick these pine needles from the forest surface. And this is what we do. We collect the pine needles from the surface, we soak them overnight in water. We coil them using thread and needle and produce beautiful handicrafts out of it. We got featured in a newspaper called Amar Ujala, which says "Jungle mein aag nahi, jeevan ko roshan karega Pirul," and which is precisely our value proposition. So we wish to improve the quality of lives of women in Kheti Khan by creating additional source of income of 5,000 to 10,000 rupees per month. So handicrafts are labor intensive, and 90% of the cost of our product goes to the artisan directly. The skill can be acquired easily and can be scaled up to all the villages having the pine cover. So through our venture, by making the handicrafts, we utilize 1 kg of pine needle per person per day. And during our market survey, we actually visited shops and we surveyed we surveyed some exporters as well. So there is increased demand of eco-friendly products, such eco-friendly products nowadays, and there's a demand-supply gap. We wish to address this demand-supply gap through our production unit in the rural setup in parts. So at Pirul, we are a team of sisterpreneurs. I am Nupur Pohorkar, and to the left is my sister Sharwari Pohorkar. And to the right is our local manager Sunita Moni. So these are our products. We have home decor, fashion accessories, and Rakhis were our best sellers and innovative product. We have corporate gifting range and we have tableware. So this project was started when I was placed in Kheti Khan village for a fellowship in rural development. So I I was curious about these pine needles as I could see that everywhere. I just tried after researching, I just tried one basket myself, and these are, then I actually came across many forest fires in March and April. So that's when I started to take it forward as community project. I started working with the project, with the community. These were some of the initial samples that we developed. So we started in March 2021, and in November 2021 we got our office, and we taught our Sunita Didi, who is our local mentor, to write and bookkeeping. We developed export quality products. After that, we have done exhibitions in Nagpur and Delhi, and we got overwhelming response. We got grant of rupees 3 lakh from SBI Foundation for the work that we are doing. We also got order for mementos from Maharashtra government. So Pirul was registered as a proprietorship on 1st April 2022. So from introducing the craft in the village, now we have a team of 25 women who are producing the finished goods. And we have developed more than 30 variety of products and sold 3.5 lakhs in 8 months. So working in the hilly areas comes with its own challenges. So though our raw material cost is almost negligible, logistic costs that are incurred are really high, and we are still figuring out how to set operations to make it more economical. For example, for packaging also we have to get our packaging material from Delhi to the village, and for delivering the products we have to get a taxi wala to get our products to a nearby city which is 160 kilometers, and then we have to get it delivered. So these are the challenges that we face. In terms of products, our products are prone to fungus when kept in a damp environment, but we are working with professor from VNIT College in Nagpur to treat them with antifungal solution. We also want to increase our D2C market reach. So these are some of the products we are looking to diverse into in near future. There are woven floor mats, pine needle briquettes, pine mulch, brooms, sturdy papers, and animal floor mats. These are the possibilities that are possible through utilizing the pine needles. So what do we seek? We seek mentorship. We want to scale it up to a team of 100 people in March next year. So we want collaboration for conducting our trainings, and we also have many corporate gifting products. So if you have a need of corporate gifting, please do contact us. We seek mentorship and funding for scaling up, and guidance for business. So this is our mission. Our vision is Mission Pirul. So we want to scale it up to all the villages where these pine needles are available and diversify into the different products made out of pine needles. Have a sneak peek into our process. So lastly, I would like to say that no Indian craft is purely decorative. It is way of expression, and we want to use this venture to fulfill our dream of financial independence and having impact on forest fires. Thank you. Do visit us on www.kirul.org.
Thank you very much, Nupur, for presenting your eco-friendly solution to the locally available forest waste product with a value addition, integrating with the local cultures and local handicrafts and all. I think this would certainly work as a sustainable solution for local women and empowerment of women. Thank you very much. Last but not the least, I call upon Dr. Lata Ghanshyamnani from our Nisarg Foundation.
Good evening, everybody. Myself, Dr. Lata Ghanshyamnani, co-founder of NGO R Nisarg Foundation, practicing eye surgeon, Thane, Maharashtra. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and my journey of that one step began when I watched my gardener burn the garden leaves thinking that it is a waste. The question that what happens to all the types of waste which I generate started intriguing me, and there is where I started looking for solutions for the waste. Sadly, for my menstrual waste, I couldn't find any viable solution, and as a person who wants to find solution, a friend of mine who introduced me to a product called menstrual cup, I found the real relief, because this menstrual cup not only gave me freedom from trash, but also was very medically proven safe and good to my pocket. India right now and on a daily basis generates 12 billion sanitary napkins through its 355 million menstruating women. There is a lack of education in menstruation, and there is a lack of education about safe menstrual products, which is leading to 30% of vaginal infections. And as Anirban mentioned earlier, there is more than 1 lakh of cervical cases detected every year in India. Not only is that there is a lack of education, but there is also, like I mentioned, there is no safe option to dispose, and hence it is causing a lot of environmental harm, because these sanitary pads are laden with chemicals and plastic. Me, as a Sakhi, I introduced myself because I started using the menstrual cup, and I found the benefit that coming from a medical profession, I could influence my near dear people to switch to using this menstrual product. And that idea struck with me, and I started speaking to this with my medical fraternity on the eve of Navratri, that is 2019, I spoke to Gynac friends, and 9 of them opted to make their Gynac centers as Sakhi centers. What I mean by Sakhi centers is a lady looks up to another lady as a friend and a philosopher and a guide. So this word resonates with the patients, and the doctors step in, their healthcare workers step in to help this lady choose a good menstrual option. The whole core values of Sakhi stands on empowerment about menstruation, supporting a lady to make right choices for a happy and a healthy and environment safe menstruation. Donation is a core part of this, and also livelihood and safety for the environment. Sakhi runs on 4 verticals of S. The first S is subject empowerment. When a girl at the age of 11 enters Minaki, she looks at her women folk for the right advice. If we educate our women folk with the right knowledge about the science of menstruation, a lot of social taboos could be broken. She could be introduced for her next 40 years to not only a happy but a safe menstruation as well. So subject empowerment is very core important. The second S is sustainable menstrual product, and here we are talking about medically approved and safe menstrual cup. A single cup has a lifespan of around 10 years, so it can also help us eliminate period poverty. The third S is support. As you see, this product, it cannot be absorbed very easily by a lady because it has a learning curve. It is inserted in a vagina, so not everybody is comfortable, and hence a behavioral change or a learning curve needs to be addressed through very, very good support system for the next 3 to 4 cycles. The last S is any project to know if it is successful, we need documentation. How is the conversion rate? Why are they converting? Why aren't they not converting? All of this is done through digitalization. Now, what is the social innovation around this? Because menstrual cup has been there in the market for 2 decades. Through our NGO, what we have got value addition in the social sector is by the implementation strategy. The team RNISAR, comprising of healthcare workers, goes to a PHC, educates the ASHA workers, the healthcare workers, makes them the users, and then trains them so that they can go into the community and educate the beneficiaries. Now, when I say the train, they are given teaching tools, they are certified, evaluated. We have collaborated with the Association of Maharashtra OBGY, and these ladies get certificates and even access to teaching resources or learning resources through our dedicated YouTube channel. Each Sakhi trainer is expected to identify the beneficiary, give her the product, support her, guide her, get documentation for our evaluation. The entire process is incentivized, and we keep them motivated through various contests. We try to make the journey of a Sakhi trainer from someone to becoming somebody. Like I mentioned, it cannot be just done without support. The support comes from the physical aspect and digital aspect as well, like a tele support, a WhatsApp boot chat mechanism, and also a 24/7 helpline through WhatsApp. So what we see is paperless, we have to go. So we have taken all of this on a digital platform. The number of workshops we do, the number of beneficiaries, their personal details, their medical details, are they converting, the stock of the cups, the payment, everything is captured on a platform which we can continuously evaluate. What is that makes us different from the other schemes and other NGOs which are working in the space of menstruation is that we are doing continuous support through our healthcare workers, and we are looking at conversions. We also created a lot of SOPs which can be replicated and upscaled. Our past 1 year experience in the tribal belt has been that the tribal women pick this cup very quickly. 100% conversion is what we have seen. So what we see is direct impact on a happy menstruation and an indirect impact on educating 3,000 more families and diverting or not generating 30 lakh sanitary pads annually. So our team is growing, and we are wanting each lady to say, "Me Sakhi." As co-founders, we ask you to help us connect to the right networks for funds, and please speak about us at whenever and wherever possible. Thank you. Video, please.
कुछ पाने की हो आस आस, कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशाएं, हर कोशिश में हो बार बार, करे दरियाओं को आर पार आशाएं, तूफानों को चीर के मंजिलों को छीन ले, आशाएं हिले दिल की, उम्मीदें हंसे दिल की, अब मुश्किल नहीं कुछ भी नहीं।
Thank you, Dr. Lata. I understand, of course, it is a very challenging task to work in this area, which is very much needed. This area has been neglected for many, many decades. This menstrual hygiene has been now catching up. But keeping in view of the socio-psyche environment in the tribal areas where even the sanitary napkins, challenge of acceptance of the sanitary napkins, now you are coming with a new idea. Although the journey is long, but we have to make a beginning. And I think your innovation here, maybe the social innovation of accepting first the health workers, maybe the beginning will be with the community health workers to the tribal women would make, I think, a beginning, would certainly will make a beginning. And it will, if at all it is accepted, it will be a sea change. Even for rural and tribal women, this menstrual cup introduction would be a good beginning. Thank you very much for all the 6 wonderful presenters here. All have worked on various problems identified, locally available. I would just quickly conclude because the time is running out, and I would like to congratulate all the young and pragmatic innovators and with wonderful ideas appropriate to the tribal community, identifying the needs of the local people, and with your wonderful suggestions, with a apt beginning, these solutions may reach to a logical conclusions in the long run. Beginning is always important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We will take a quick few questions from the jury, and I request the innovators to please be crisp in your answers because we're running out of time.
So this is a question to Forestica Booty. I think yours is a classic case of reverse innovation, since you're going back and innovating something which is already existing. Do you think your innovation, when you commercialize it, is a financially viable business model?
Yes, we checked our commercial viability of the product because we can one-on-one compete plastic toothbrush cost and as well as the human mentality also, how to calculate plastic brush and paste cost plus their per month budget. And there are certain different eras also there, like as I indicated, hotel industry, circuit houses industry, and there are 2 or 3 more identified area wherein we are absolutely can really be a very, very good alternate for plastic toothbrush and paste. So we are commercial viable, of course, means pocket friendly, of course.
Your product is something related to changing habits, which is very, very difficult. It will be true in rural, but in urban areas, next to impossible. And that why I'm saying that this means that you will have to have lot of, kind of a creation of awareness and then efforts to move the people from the today's habit to tomorrow, whatever your habit is and all that. So how have you built in that in your entire enterprise or your project?
Yes, what sir has told me is really my experience. Yeah, how now I'm encountering as an entrepreneur and to be a businessman, of course. Yes, that is true. We are not going to change any kind of things. Change always takes a lot of time, but we have to sustain our business. So we are addressing the pain point. Like hotel industry is of course a guest amenities. It's the pain point of that, giving them plastic toothpaste and brush. 10 rupees costing, we are just costing 5 rupees. Say 5 rupees saving per day, per room, for per hotel is a very big for big hotel industry, first. Second thing is this, we are addressing, as I told, pain point of the people. Like most of the people are nowadays using what? Pan parag, gutka, This current toothbrush and paste is not giving solution to them. You will finding 50% of that are getting stain of their teeth. Got it? Yes, we are very much viable for them. We are selling our product at the completely Pan Ka Galla store, 10 rupees, bio brush, जहाँ पे करंज का ब्रश है, डिप किया हुआ एक्टिवेटेड चारकोल के अंदर, and it gives them a real solution. In 30 days they will get the problem, उनका 50% solve होता है. So that is how change takes time. But we are addressing the pain point first, then we will try to change behavioral change. We are also having activities in the school, one day Datun day, like into Rayan school, DPS school, where one day we do charge 10 rupees per piece. School is charging from their kids. We educate the kids, just saying what is plastic toothbrush, what is bio brush, and how to do that. One day Datun day is a kind of campaign. That is how we are maintaining our level to sustain as a business. And we are into profit. We are also selling machines to the CSR funds, like we've been selected by SDFC Bank 2020 as a Smart Up grant. We've been also been selected by SDFC for the Parivartan to distribute our machines. We give the machines to them, we train their people, they make the brush for us, fine. So finally, we are not, really, it's very much cost thing to us, because we are getting fund for the machine from the SDFC, we are getting our product on a really viable cost, and we are selling it. That's why we are into profit from day first.
Sir, sorry, before moving to the next question, I again request the innovators to be crisp. We are very much ahead of our time, please.
One more question to fuselage innovation. This, whatever services you are offering, there are, as per my understanding and my knowledge, there are many in this field who are offering similar services.
Okay.
So your entry barriers have been reduced to a greater extent. So how do you, working on that, coping with the competition and, innovate something so that you can move to the next level?
Okay, sir, basically we are doing a plan mapping analysis, and based on data, we providing prescriptions. So there are so many players are out there, but none of them are providing prescription as per data. They are also doing what exactly the traditional practices, like even aerial spraying. If identify any crop damage, they provide foliar applications to the entire crop acreage. Like instead of that, we providing a control, like minute the application, and also we precisely do what exactly based the crop deficiency. In accordingly, we providing the recovery practices. So that's a unique thing what we have as a product solution. Also we integrated like Navic systems, like India's only Navic system we integrated for better accuracy, and these two drones can communicate together, like integrate geotagging and sharing these GIS informations to the aerial spraying drone. So in accordingly, these drone providing foliar applications. Though that technology we patented, and none of them are currently not in that section. Yeah.
Okay, next question, please.
So if there are no questions, we move to the next session.
Yeah, if one last question we can take.
I think this was very, very challenging kind of a presentation and section for us, for me to evaluate. Every idea is unique. All the products are certainly very unique, having tremendous potential of growth. The only challenge which I could see is the market, penetration to the market, and I wish all of you all the best.
So much, sir. Sir, without doing further ado, I would like to call upon Dr. Kelkar sir to felicitate Dr. K.V. Somasundaram sir, and a group picture after that. So I again request all of you to please come forward on the dais.
One announcement. If somebody want, I left samples over there. They can get free of cost from the
Where is it?
outside.
Okay. Sir, a group picture, please. Yeah. Yeah, can everybody please come outside for a picture? There are some samples from the team on brushes outside if anyone would want to take it back. Other than there's a slight change in the program due to, in the interest of time, we would not be taking the tea break and networking session right now. We would directly move on to the next item in the session, which is valedictory keynote address. So I would like to call upon stage Mr. Kishore Chaukar. Sir is former Managing Director of Tata Industries Limited. Mr. Chaukar was a member of the boards of several Tata companies, that is Tata Investment Corporation Limited, Tata Petrodyne Limited, Tata AIA Life Insurance Company Limited, and Tata Communications too. We welcome you, sir.
One keeps hearing that India is a very rich country inhabited by poor people. After looking at the presentations this evening, I'm sorry I could not attend the conference right from the morning, but whatever that I saw, I'm getting convinced that with people like you, with the innovators like you, you can change this particular saying and say India is inhabited by rich people and therefore it is rich. My congratulations to all of you, and of course, all the best in your ventures. I must compliment the Pune International Center for starting this particular activity. I know for a fact that Dr. Mashelkar and Dr. Kelkar are both committed to this particular activity because they spoke to me about PIC more than 10 years ago when I was still an employee at Tata's. I'm glad that their idea, their concept has seen or is seeing very fruitful productivity through this conference. And therefore my compliments, genuine, with respect, for having started something which is truly valuable in the context of what India is capable of doing and avoiding those, encouraging those activities. I also thank them for giving me an opportunity. I was about to say, to come and say something to you, but no. The opportunity to say, there are many, many times. But this is an opportunity to learn something which I have never learned in the last 75 years of my life. And for this particular opportunity, mixing with you, mixing with the young talent, is a great opportunity that the PIC has provided me, and I am thankful to them for this particular opportunity. I'm extremely happy to also see that apart or away from the old concept of doing development, doing changes, doing some sort of an innovation in the basic production activity of a particular economic activity, the innovators have started stepping out and they have started using technology and technologies hitherto unconnected with the basic production activity or service activity of their own economic activity. For example, I read that they are using robotics. Great. They are using telecommunications. What telecommunications had nothing to do with medicine. Till you people started using, I think there was a case of telecommunications being used for telemedicine. There is a case of robotics which is being used. There is a case of robobionics which is being used. These are the kind of things which will probably not just reward the innovators, but it will probably take the country ahead. And that is something, is an extremely gratifying thing to note. The next element is not as much as possible, but still, from being basic production activity, improving the productivity of whatever that is being done, adjacencies are also slowly started being included. People are talking and actually working on distribution systems and on storage and on supply lines. That is also, and not just production. That is also an extremely gratifying thing to note in all the things that have happened. Having said this, is there anything that I wish for? I say yes. I wish for a few things. And what are those few things? I would just like to put it in front of all of you as innovators, as also in front of the PIC, as also in front of the thought leaders like Dr. Kelkar and Dr. Mashelkar, to see it forward if it can. Number one, there is a value chain in an economic activity. Basically, most of the innovations are related to one aspect of that link. Other links seem to be getting either neglected or put on a back burner or left to somebody else. I think it will be useful to think of that particular aspect also. Other links in the entire value chain. One of the finest one is way out of the reach in terms of small entrepreneurs and small innovators, is an example of Apple. That guy, whoever did it, or the group of guys who did it, they have moved into every element of the link. They have moved into production, they have moved into supply line, they have moved into the supply lines which need to be improved in which way and how. They have moved into selling the product, they have moved in, and they have captured the entire lot in one single element. One single element. And I asked this question, how does this happen, to a person from Samsung who was in charge of their IPR. I had a good opportunity to look around some IPR issues when we had trouble ourselves. And that fellow told me, actually we were sitting at a dinner, and he asked the chief of Apple IPR setup. He said, hey you guys, how do you manage this? And he asked this chap, the Sony fellow, not the Samsung, the Sony fellow. He said, what is the problem? He says, about 6 or 8 months ago, my president called me up and asked me, rather showed me on the side table, the entire Apple iPad dismantled and kept on that place. He says, nothing in this is made by Apple. Not one single piece. Everything is made by somebody else. It's made by China, it's made by Taiwan, it is made by Philippines, it's made by anybody else, but nothing is made by Apple. How do you manage this? It's that simple. He said, we catch hold of the entrepreneur who is interested in doing some work and tell him, look, my specifications for these products are these. If you take the risk of developing it from the value chain side, from the marketing point of view, he said, you take the risk of innovation, technological research, meeting the specs or what have you. That fellow says, what do I get? He says, this is the price and 1 million pieces. This is your guarantee. If you want an advance of that, I'll give it to you right now. And that is how they picked up the cases. Someone who's sitting there at Apple, he not only thought of what the iPad should contain, he also thought about what are the inputs that he requires, what is the output that he is going to push through, and who is going to help him. We need that kind of a futuristic, holistic, complete thought process. Small entrepreneurs, enthusiastic entrepreneurs may not be, not every entrepreneur will be in a position to do that, but I think organizations like PIC can help in looking towards in that, and I hope in the next few years we will move in that direction. The next element is, and I think this, you people are doing an excellent job in this, using societal resources. But the societal resources, the local resources are seen very often in the tribal areas. No problems at all. They're also seen in several rural areas, but in urban areas we don't. And when I say societal resources, it does not mean only the raw material. Many of us have a concept, which I also did have it at one time. It is not just the raw material. There are lots of other things which are a part of the resources. Energy for one reason. Distribution processes for another way. The delivery systems for another way. The storage and the control of that storage, the way you want them, is another input that is required. I think it will be very useful. And as a matter of fact, perhaps going forward, it will be absolutely essential to explore these possibilities of using social and the societal resources to the extent that we can. One of the elements this also becomes an extremely important aspect is protection of the IPR or the innovation that you develop. It is possible to do that. And you have to find a way of doing it. It's not easy. It is extremely difficult. For that, it is not just a question of being able to read the law and fill a few forms. It is an ability to look into the future as to what can be the issues which need to be handled, looked into. And I'll give you an example, a rather interesting example, a rather disappointing example from my perspective and our perspective at Tata's. All of you will agree with us that it is the Tata Motors that developed the Nano. I see no reason that there should be any disagreement over that. Nano, from the word go, its design was made by or evolved by, developed by Tata Motors. I was connected with the company which made the seats in a joint venture with an internationally well-known company. One fine morning, after the Nano was introduced in a very grand way in Mumbai, I got a very nice invitation from the international chairman of that particular collaborator. We held 50%, 49 point something something. They held 49 point something something. For award of the most valuable contributing innovation from within that group. That company is probably somewhere around $85–90 billion, supplying essentially lots of things around the place, control systems and stuff like that, for avionics, for automobile industry, for kitchens and stuff like that. And I said, yeah, it's a global chairman. I should make it a point to land up there. So I did land up there. The company was in Pune at that time. I drove down, came down to this place, and in the evening, before the award ceremony, there was a tea that was being thrown. I was the managing director, who was a Tata employee, been working with us for about 10–12 years. I asked him, what is this award for? So he says, it is award for seats for the Nano. I said, seats for the Nano? And the IPR belongs to that international company? How does it work? I said, that international company had nothing to do at all with this particular product. He said, but sir, no, that is in the agreement. What agreement? I said, the world knows that Nano was developed by Tata Motors. Every piece in that car was developed, including a nut bolt, was designed and developed by Tata Motors. And the IPR for the Nano seats belong to this international company based in US. Why? He said, sir, there is a fine little agreement written down that any innovation, invention, improvement, development which takes place in this particular joint venture will belong to the international company. I asked that international fellow's chairman, is this fair? He said, well, Mr. Chowkar, in the context of Nano, it may not be all that relevant, but in many other contexts, it is relevant. Why? Because in the original case, to produce the seats, you used our technology our machinery and our production systems. The entire, this was about, what, 20 years ago, this has happened. None of us could have even thought of this when we went into this production. Some of your productions, some of your items, some of your systems are capable of doing this. And therefore, you require a very high quality, very future-looking, futuristic legal advice in this matter. It is not cheap. I would use the word inexpensive, but I would go the other way and say it is expensive. It is very, very expensive. In that context, what I said just now is more relevant to the PIC and people like, and the lead thought leaders like Dr. Mashelkar and Dr. Kelkar, that maybe there is a possibility of a setup like PIC coming forward and setting up services which can be availed of by all the innovators like you, whether it is in protection of IPR, whether it is in financial access, whether it is in insurance, whether it is in markets, whether it is in storage, through a centralized agency. Then only you will be able to complete your chain. Believe you me, it is not that easy to complete the chain. If you go in for higher production, finding raw material is a tough call. Finding markets is even a tougher call. Storing the product is also a very tough call, especially in areas where you are linked to a biological product. The production process is biological. Whether it is dairying, animal husbandry, whether it is agriculture or whatever, the production element is biology dependent. And very interesting. This I learnt in course of my studies, that look at agriculture, look at animal husbandry. Every link of the chain up to starting of the production gets money, gets legal protection, gets corporatization, gets insurance. Every link post-production also gets the same thing. It is the production from seed to the edible item, nothing is available. Well, it's available right now in small bits and bits here. I want to go and put up an insecticide plant, I'll get everything that I want. I want to set up a distribution channel, I'll get everything that I want. If I want to get into, let's say, input of seeds, I'll get everything that I want. But if I want to get into buying the seed and producing the fruit, man oh man, I have to move from one place to the other, to the other, to the other, in order to get money, in order to get place, in order to get risk cover. It is not easy for an entrepreneur to do that. So a setup like PIC can come around and provide these kind of services. And if they do at an affordable cost, I think it will be a yeoman service to the further growth of the innovation culture and fructification of the innovations that take place. I don't have very many points. I don't want to keep any one of you away from the awards which are going to follow in a very short while, but just one last element. Social relevance. Every innovation must necessarily, and this is a great thing just to learn, that this is a national conference on social innovations. It is very, very essential that it has to be focused on social innovations. Why? I'll give you one example. I began my career about 50 years ago. This Pradeep Bhargav will stand over there. Both of us started the college at the same level. He did very well. I sort of, just about managed to get out of it without flunking out of the institute. But at that time, from there onwards, I learned very interesting things. After the college, I started selling soap. Literally, I was selling soap. Two innovations. This was early 70s. Those of you who are of my age, you will realize, you will recall that early 70s was hit by drought. Tremendous shortage of drought of food materials, oil seeds, etc. 72, 73, 74. And two innovations were going around the town. Both of them succeeded. Both of them made immense amount of money for the fellow who did the innovations and the companies which adopted those innovations. One was replacement of some edible oils. Soap contains some edible oil. At that time, we used to use mutton tallow, but there were some problems, so we had to go in for using edible oils. So, since the edible oil was in short supply, the thought was, let's try and see if we can use castor oil. At that time, it was not as valuable as the edible oils. And there was an entity, there was a company, there was an individual who evolved the optimum level of castor oil that can be used in a soap without the soap cracking. The problem with castor oil used to be that if you used at a slightly higher level, the soap would crack. This fellow optimized that level. The second one was, they started using mud in the soap. Mud. They call it some kind of a clay. But they use clay. This also I got to know very interestingly because of my career with ICICI. I was the nominee director on one of the firms which is based in Kerala, and they had a factory there, and they used to produce clay. So I landed there one of these days and told them, what do you produce? They said, we produce clay. I said, clay? What do you mean you produce? They said, we got some 99-year-long agreement with the Kerala government, and we can dig into the Kerala clay for about something like 8 feet or 9 feet depth. He said, what do you do? We said, we dig the clay. I said, fabulous. Then what do you do? He said, we wash the clay, dissolve it in water, clean it up, dry it up, pack it up, and sell it. He said, who are your buyers? So he gave me a list of the buyers. Clay is used in textile industries, it's used in paper industries for a variety of things, which is, I think, technologically required, so necessary. But then I saw a major soap making company buying this. Major soap making company buying clay. So I asked, hey, yaar, ye paper nahi banata hai, ye cloth nahi banata hai. They don't pack fuller's earth, it can be converted into fuller's earth and made into a beauty aid or something. They don't do that. What did they use it for? Is that they use it as a filler in soap. Now you decide which is relevant and which is not relevant. You figure out which route of innovation that you wish to follow. With that, my friends, I leave you to the awaiting for the awards. My congratulations to all of you once again. My compliments to PIC once again. Good luck and God bless.
Thank you, sir. I request you to stay back on the stage. I once again invite Dr. Mashelkar, sir, to come on stage and present a token of love to Mr. Kishore Chauka, sir. Sir, I request both of you to stay back on the stage as we are immediately starting the prize distribution ceremony, and I would like to call upon stage on the other dignitaries, Dr. Vijay Kelkar sir, Mr. Pradeep Bhargava, and Mr. Mukesh Malhotra sir, and Mr. Abhay Vaidya. Nice, sir.
On the side. Where is that? Yeah, you can just.
So now we've come to the part where everybody has been impatiently waiting for the most exciting part of the evening, which is our NCSI prize distribution in all three categories, that is urban innovation, rural innovation, and tribal innovation. So to start with, we will start with the urban innovation category. The companies or social enterprises present today were DD Labs Private Limited, Prayogik Technologies Private Limited, Pro Earth Ecosystems, Recircle, Swachh Sustainable Solutions, Robo Bionics, and Sunbots Innovation. So we would like to request the crowd to share any, who do you think might have won? Any guesses?
Any guesses? Because I truly believe that all the innovations were amazing.
Yeah.
And definitely at the end of the day, we have to come to one winner, but I can consider all of them as winners since they have reached this stage of the conference. So a little bit of suspense, but the time is also important, so let's not get into that.
And before you announce the winners, we would just share that the winners are going to get a cash prize of around 50,000 rupees and a 1-year mentoring program from PIC SI Lab.
So let me declare the winner for urban category, and he'll get, as she said, rightly said, 50,000 cash award, 1-year mentoring. So the winner is okay, Recircle Swachh Sustainable Solution, Rahul Nainani. We'll now give away the award, check and a certificate. Rahul, please come on the stage. So Recircle, under the Recircle initiative, Swachh Sustainable Solution works to divert plastic waste away from oceans and landfills by implementing an ethical and traceable reverse supply chain for waste, thus ensuring that the waste is brought back into the economy to be recycled, reused and repurposed. Congratulations, Rahul. The award, please, and the certificate. And the check, the actual check will come to you shortly. So moving to the next category.
The rural innovation category, the companies present today were Digi Swasthya Foundation, DK Health Access Foundation, Krishi Gati, Mediseva Technologies, Pragmatic Healthcare, and Urban Blue Technologies. Also, before you announce the winner, सुबह किसी ने कहा था कि तालियां बजाने से किसी का नुकसान नहीं होता है.
Great. So getting into the rural category, yeah, as I said, everybody was a winner. Let me quickly come to the actual winner for the rural category. It's Krishi Gati Private Limited, Sonali Beljali.
Krishi Gati provides technological solutions to farmers for modern and precision farming that helps in reducing the farming expenditure substantially and thus boosts the income of the farmers. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Sonali. The award and the certificate.
Now moving on to the last category, tribal category. The social enterprises present today were Center for Aquatic Livelihood Jal Jivika, Forestica Booty, Fossil Age Innovations, Mudita and Radesh, Pirul Handicrafts, and our Reduce, Reuse, Recycle Nisarg Foundation.
Yeah, so quite a unique innovation which was by Radesh Agrihari, Mudita and Radesh Private Limited. Congratulations, Radesh.
Mudita and Rashesh upcycles the chicken waste generated in butcheries to create woolen fibers and fertilizers and helps in reducing the impact of the slaughtering process on the environment. Congratulations to you.
All three winners can just come up and take a picture
Jointly, yeah.
quickly before we move to the next session. You don't have to get this check just yourself. Thank you, Mashelkar sir, for all this. Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you all once again. Thank you to the dignitaries. Thank you to the winners.
So before moving to the last session, we will be networking after the vote of thanks and conclusion.
Fantastic, very proud of you.
Yeah. Sorry? Yes. No, just. No, just 5 minutes. Okay.
It has been a wonderful day today for learning and listening from all the dignitaries and the innovators present here. I now call upon Mr. Sanjay Kanvinde for concluding today's conference and present vote of thanks. Sorry, yeah, yes.
So, I'm sorry to take 2 minutes of your time, the floor, but I think I want to thank Kishore for giving a really very thoughtful address and suggestion. So we accept his idea, and I think we have a social lab. So in the lab now, they have shared services. We would add to that what you suggested of giving intellectual property rights services. Thank you.
Mr. Sanjay Kanvinde will do the concluding for today's conference and present vote of thanks. He is an active mentor at PIC Social Innovation Lab for the past 6 years and also is a member at PIC. We welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all for staying with us till the end of the day. It's been a long day, so I'll keep my comments short. I just have to give a few thanks to those who helped organize this event. First of all, I'd just like to start with all the innovators. I think they're the stars of the show. And I know we announced only 3 winners, but from my experience of the last 10 years, I can tell you, you all are winners. So let's give them a big hand, please. It's truly a pleasure and a privilege for PIC to showcase your work to the nation. And I can say from experience that the road ahead is challenging. We have worked with many of you over the last 6 years. But what I find truly incredible is your moral conviction that got you into this initiative in the first place. And having mentored over 80+ companies as part of the PIC program, what I find truly fascinating is when the going gets tough, it's that moral conviction of why you started something that keeps you going, and success cannot be denied. So thank you all for coming, and we look forward to working with you over the next year. I would like to thank our chief guest, who's not here anymore, but I found her comments very useful, especially the Jugaad Josh Janoon is stuck in my head now. So we look forward to working with JSW Foundation. I think she's been very generous in opening the door for us and offering a collaboration for the future, which we will promptly take up after the meeting. I thank the chairperson of the 3 sessions, Pratima Kirloskar, who's been very active with us in the mentoring program also, Mukesh Malhotra, and Dr. Somasundaram. Thank you for conducting the sessions. What you may not know is the effort they put in before the sessions. They had to read all the presentations and become aware of each of the innovators. So we really, really thank you for the effort you put in, not only today, but before the meeting also. I thank all the panel of judges, because having been in many of these panels myself, it's quite challenging to pick one person. So we thank you for your efforts. I thank Mr. Chaukar for his comments. I probably wrote half a page of notes, and as Dr. Kelkar said, as part of PIC, there are quite a few things that you mentioned that we need to take up, and we will be following up on that. Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to thank our co-hosts. I don't know if they're here anymore. TIS, the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and NIF, the National Innovation Foundation. They have been with us hand in hand for the last 10 years. And I thank them for being with us through the entire journey. I thank all our ecosystem partners from Venture Center, Bhau Institute, and all the other incubators and accelerators who provide a huge amount of support to all the innovators in the country. And we are very proud to be associated with you. We have quite a few of them today. And we look forward to working with you and supporting these entrepreneurs over the next year. I cannot forget mentioning our media partners. I think they do a fabulous job covering this event. And that's a big plus for the attendees at this event, is the publicity they get after the event. So I really, really thank all our media partners. And we should be seeing all the news and the publication updates tomorrow. But I particularly want to highlight the role the vernacular medium has played in taking this idea of social innovation to our tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and being part of quite a few incubators. What I find truly amazing is the ideas and problems that are being solved by innovators coming from the tier 2 and tier 3 cities also. And I think I have to thank the vernacular media for taking this message out to the countryside. I'd like to thank all our mentors. I cannot tell you how much effort goes into mentoring these companies. We have Pramod Atle, Girendra Kasmarkar, Anil Kulkarni, Ram Iyer, Amit Bhargava, Sandeep Chawda, Shekhar Jadhav, Sangeeta Kale, Madhukar Bhatia, and Hemant Joshi. Literally, they put in hundreds of hours every year supporting our innovators. And it really makes a big difference to them, as you've seen over the last few years. I'd also like to thank the entire PIC staff. I know Mandar, Malavika, and Sanika did the heavy lifting, but the entire team steps up on a day like this, and I really thank all of them. Most of them are here working hard, and they were here working all week, so really appreciate that effort. May I request you to give a big hand to all the staff and the mentors, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Abhay, after this applause, I don't see any reason why you would deny them 1 week of time off. So lastly, I want to thank, of course, our president, Dr. Mashelkar, our vice president, Mr. Vijay Kelkar, our general secretary, Prashant Girbane, and our director, Abhay Vedya, and of course, our board of trustees. It's easy to start something, but to take something for 10 years and look forward for the next 10 years, it really requires a huge amount of support. And we really thank them for the constant support and mentoring they have done to bring this 10th year into play. To conclude my remarks, I just wanted to share with you what we will be doing over the next few years. While today is the end of the event, it's actually just the start of the relationship between PIC and the innovators. So very soon, we'll be starting a 9-month mentorship program. We'll be offering that option to them. It's up to them to take that option. we've had good success over the last few years, and there are a couple of areas where we have been able to help quite a lot. One is in fine-tuning their strategy. I know a lot of people were giving inputs like, oh, they can do it like this, they can do it like that. Yes, we will be working on all those things. We've helped them grow their teams, scale up their impact, and more interestingly, help them think through in detail how to make their initiative sustainable. It's quite easy to do something for 2-3 years, but to do something that can last for dozens of years and impact millions of people requires sustainability to build into their approaches, and that's something we'll be working on. Second thing we will be doing is, of course, our shared support center. So as was mentioned, sir, we offer a catalog of 7 or 8 services to each of the mentors, and I think we need to build on some of the points you mentioned and adding more to the catalog. But this has been a fantastic initiative over the last 3-4 years, where our ecosystem partners, our CA, our company secretaries, our IP lawyers have helped us, and they have participated in this program. And through various sponsorships, we will be bringing a couple of hours of mentoring and specialized input from our shared service center. And what is very interesting is the mentors identify what is the best use of spending 30,000-40,000 on each of these companies, and we use these expert services to make that difference. Thirdly, we have the Social Innovation Lab, and we are capturing best practices, the lessons learned, and PIC plays a very important feedback loop into the national ecosystem to give input into policies, best practices, and what needs to change at the local, state, or national level. So you saw a policy paper being released today, but that's an ongoing piece of work. It's truly incredible because we are working with these 100+ innovators, and we can see at a microscopic level the problems they are facing. And as a think tank, we're able to absorb all those inputs and really become the feedback loop into our policy-making processes in the country or at the state level to help innovators like that, even though they are not here. 130 applied, only 18 are here, but hopefully through this work, all those others can also benefit. Lastly, as Dr. Mashelkar reminds us, we are an international center in Pune, and that's something we have taken on. We have an opening in Brazil. A lot of our companies over the last few years are spreading their wings and are going international. So using our professional networks in the PIC, we are helping them access markets internationally. And this is something we hope. We just had an example of Kibo. They were in Brazil last week, and actually at the national conference for the visually impaired, their product was presented and was acknowledged on the stage. So we have this relationship also with the think tank in Brazil, so that's something we hope to build on over the next year or so. So that's the organized part of what we will do, but the best part is unorganized and tends to be quite serendipitous. So something I noticed that has made a huge difference to these companies is having sort of what I believe is a coalition for good. I think there's a huge amount of goodwill in the society, and somehow PIC is trying to harness that goodwill so we can help entrepreneurs like the ones we have today. I will briefly mention what are the 4 or 5 areas where all of you can participate. I think the first one is the easiest one. If you can become a customer or buy one of the services, that is the best way to help these entrepreneurs, because cash is like a good blood flow, and having good business is a great motivation for these companies. So if any of you can buy a product or buy a service in your housing colony or anything you can do as an individual, please do that. I think it's a very powerful motivator for them. Secondly, what we have seen is if you're a leader, if you have access to CSR resources, you have a foundation. We have a couple of people who have foundations here. If you're able to help in any way, please come forward. We'll be extremely delighted at PIC to facilitate that process of getting you introduced to them. This is a game changer. Getting the first customer or the first 5 customers is a tremendous challenge for these entrepreneurs. And anything you can do to open a door. We have had wonderful, wonderful examples of PIC members coming forward, making a connection, making things happen. We've had innovators, HDFC Foundation help out quite a few innovators. So if you can do that, we'll be very, very happy to have your support. Thirdly, media, please publicize and help these entrepreneurs further. It really helps. If you're an impact investor, we welcome. A lot of our companies have grown to a size where they're actually raising capital. They require a lot more capital. And please connect with us. We'll be very happy to make the connection. There are quite a few impact investors in the ecosystem, and we really want to network with you and connect you to the entrepreneurs we have here. So they're not short of capital to grow. Lastly, this is one gap I see from our mentoring with over 80 companies, is the engagement with the government sector. So many PIC members have helped us over the last 5 years open doors into the government because they have access to the right people. So if there are people here who can do that, or there are members from the government, please come forward. What I have seen is 2 areas. I think public healthcare and public education systems are the 2 areas where I feel we really have to figure out a better way of procuring what these champions are innovating. And from what I've seen, there's an incredible amount of leverage available through these innovations, where we know we have a huge deficit in our public healthcare systems and the public education systems. So we're very happy to work with anybody who can introduce our companies to the government, and we'll take any support you can give us. We're open to any other ways to working. I finally conclude my little talk here by thanking Kalyani Shinde, who's one of the companies who was here 3 years ago and has stepped up to compare the program. We really thank her very much.
Thank you so much.
Please give her a big hand here. And with that, I conclude my remarks. I thank you again for spending this long day with us. We really appreciate that you've stayed till the end. I wish you all a safe journey back home if you're traveling, and have a good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Before we all end this session today, I would like to again thank everybody for patiently waiting till the end of the day. There is a tea and networking session which will happen in the basement. All of the audience who had questions, the innovators will be around. Please go and talk to them there. Thank you so much once again.